Sportscenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Former Packers quarterback Brett Favre says he believes Aaron Rodgers won't play another game for Green Bay.
I know he wants to win another Super Bowl. How could you not? And maybe he thinks that they will trade him if really it comes down to I'm not going to. And they believe that 100% that he wouldn't play there again.
Brett Favre today on ESPN Wisconsin. Favre has not talked with Rodgers recently. As new Jaguars coach Urban Meyer continues his remake of the organization, 4 longtime team employees have been fired this week from the scouting and personnel departments. Meyer is also pushing ownership for a standalone football facility. With 3 games left in the season, the New York Rangers fire team president John Davidson and GM Jeff Gorton today. Tuesday, the Rangers called for the firing of George Parros, the head of NHL player safety. Davidson and Gorton were not involved in that decision. 2015 Triple Crown winner American Pharoah elected to the National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. We're here, glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day! Yeah!
It's hump day.
Man, I'm going to be really over the top obnoxious today.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Want to know why, Muse?
Why, Matt?
What's today, Muse?
It's hump day.
It is hump day. What else is today, Muse?
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. And because I was just yelling in the hall, trying to annoy TJ Solis, our sales manager.
It's hump day.
TJ Solis.
What day is it, Mike?
Fair to medium job performance. Kind of okay, but not great.
It's hump day.
I love having the studio on the sales floor.
They don't like it too much.
I walk through here on Wednesdays, coming into the studio, just yelling, "Hey, hump day, hump day, hump day!"
It's hump day.
And all I hear are groans.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Cinco de Mayo. No. Gotta ask Mario if that's a good punctuating, goal call. What do you think?
It's hump day.
I gotta be honest, I think you could do better.
Really?
Yeah, I really do.
Do I need louder or more no-nos?
Both. It's gotta be longer and louder.
Cinco de Mayo. No.
It's
think?
hump
Is that
day.
good?
That was better. I
Good.
like that.
You like that one. Muse dug that one. All right. It's after further review. Let's do it. Kendall Rodgers in about, now 10 minutes since I've wasted about the first 4 minutes of the show. Kendall Rodgers, D1 baseball. We have not had the conversation often with respect to LSU baseball with what it's going to take to get them in the postseason. Oftentimes we have the conversation, okay, what do they have to do to earn a national seed? The conversation is different this year. So Kendall Rodgers, D1 baseball, their latest regional projections are out. LSU not in them, by the way. We'll get to that in about 10 minutes. LSU basketball has lost another player to the transfer portal. Josh Gray is out. We'll continue our SEC spring recaps, looking at South Carolina. And Josh Snead is going to be with us in hour number 3. Hey, Muse, ask me who's Josh Snead.
Hey, Matt, who's Josh Snead?
So glad you asked. Josh Snead is the guy behind the SEC shorts. You know, the little 2-3 minute funny
I love
videos.
Those
Awesome.
are great.
He's the guy that you see in all the videos. He's going to join us in hour number 3. Okay. Yesterday, we talked about how the Saints reportedly made a play to get into the top 15 to select Mac Jones at quarterback. My point was not so much that they were in love with Mac Jones, because if they were, they would have traded whatever asset necessary to get that guy if they felt like he were worth it. If there were a fair deal that they thought was worthy of the value, they would have done it. The underlying point, however, is that the Saints continue to pursue avenues to add to their quarterback room. And I'm very much in favor of that. Y'all know how I feel about Jameis Winston. I hope it works. There's a lot of reason to believe it will. Certainly not a guarantee. So if you have an opportunity to upgrade that quarterback room, do it. I think we could all agree that Aaron Rodgers would absolutely be an upgrade. He's the reigning MVP. And the guy who knows a lot about Aaron Rodgers is Brett Favre. Did I say Rodgers or did I say Favre? I said Favre? I don't know. If they could add Rodgers. Brett Favre, Rodgers' predecessor, was on a radio show on 94.5 ESPN in Milwaukee. Now, Muse, help me pronounce the name of this radio show, please.
It's pronounced Wildy and Tausch.
Wildy and Tausch.
Wildy and Tausch.
Just a bit of advice to Wildy and Tausch. Take it from someone who has an awful hard-to-pronounce last name. Don't name your show after your awful hard-to-pronounce last name, because everyone's going to screw it up. Something easy like After Further Review that you could then shorten to 3 letters, AFR, that nobody could really screw up. Except some people do screw up the preposition. I get upon further review a lot. I'm like, no. You see, it's an acronym. AFR. Upon starts with a U. If the show was UFR, then you would call it upon further review. But maybe people just screw things up all the time. I digress. What are they called again, Muse, this show?
Wildy and Tausch.
Okay, so Brett Favre was a guest on Wildy and Tausch, 94.5 ESPN in Milwaukee. And Brett Favre went on record saying he does not believe that Aaron Rodgers will be back in Milwaukee, in Green Bay.
I think I know Aaron fairly well, and honestly, I just don't see him coming back and just saying, all right, let's bury the hatchet, whatever caused the rift. I'm just going to come back and play because I love the guys. I love the Green Bay fans. I assume that he does, but his rift isn't with the fans nor the players. It's with the front office, So will he just swallow his pride and come in? Maybe, but I don't see that happening. If there's not a trade, my gut tells me that he'd rather sit out than play.
I would like to remind you, as absurd as that may sound, that Aaron Rodgers, the reigning MVP, would sit out of an NFL season or hold out. I would like to remind you that this man does not even speak to his family. They are estranged. And that's very sad. Outside looking in, I don't know all the particulars, but Aaron Rodgers has no relationship with his biological family. If you're someone who is so hardened, so strong-willed, that you will cut off communication with your family, I don't think it's unrealistic that Aaron Rodgers would sit out of an NFL season based on principle. He could go be the host of Jeopardy. But the reason this is relevant here is because in that same interview with, what are they called again, Muse?
Wildy and Tausch.
On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, Brett Favre did bring up the Saints in communications with Aaron Rodgers.
Without watching any TV or talking to anyone involved in the situation, either side, I just sent Aaron a message and said, "Hey, am I going to see you playing for the Saints this year?" Just kind of joking. And he sent back, "Hey, buddy, I don't believe that's going to happen."
I want to remind you that Brett Favre grew up in Kill, Mississippi. Many of you know that. Hop, skip, and a jump from New Orleans. Grew up a Saints fan. Would still obviously have a rooting interest for the New Orleans Saints. And we did talk on Thursday when I told you that the Saints did have contact, even indirectly, with Rodgers or the Packers. I'm not necessarily telling you I think that it is a certainty or even a high probability or likelihood that Aaron Rodgers would end up in New Orleans, but what I can tell you is that if you're the New Orleans Saints, you absolutely make this phone call. You absolutely put together as intriguing a package for the Green Bay Packers as you can. Now, financially, this doesn't make a lot of sense for Green Bay. Rodgers has a $38 million dead cap hit for 2020, meaning if he's not on the roster, he costs $38 million against the salary cap in a year where the salary cap is reduced. To not have the reigning MVP on your team cost you $38 million seems steep. For what it's worth, if he is traded or released post-June 1, that number is reduced to $21 million. So it would be a $16 million cap savings. And Green Bay does have an out after the 2021 season, at which point they could see that dead cap number fall to $2 million. So financially, it would make way more sense for Green Bay to move on from Aaron Rodgers after this season, play the 2021 season, then next June, move on from Aaron Rodgers. Financially, that's what would make the most sense. I'll remind you, though, the Eagles swallowed $33.8 million on the Carson Wentz deal. But that's Carson Wentz, and he stinks. This is Aaron Rodgers, and he's the MVP. You have two sides that seem very determined, pulling in opposite directions. Which side wins, we shall see. But if Aaron Rodgers has Brett Favre whispering in his ear, I wouldn't put it past him. You're the Saints. You do your best to make that happen. And if we hear anything more from, what was the name of that show again, Muse?
Wildy and Tausch, ESPN Milwaukee.
We'll let you know. It's after further review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Let me knock out a quick break. Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball, joins us next. What in the world does LSU have to do over these remaining 3 weekends to get into the postseason? We'll talk about it next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. That is the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. Of course, as I keep telling you about the Mayo Clinic Care Network, what that offers you is expanded health care for the Baton Rouge area. The Mayo Clinic Care Network allows your local healthcare provider at the Baton Rouge General expert access, clinical collaboration at no extra cost to you. Your physician here can collaborate with the world-renowned physicians at the Mayo Clinic to get you even better care, access to world-class research. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Locations all over, with their primary location on the Bluebonnet campus, their Mid-City location. Of course, the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital and Express Care locations around the greater Baton Rouge area. May is National Stroke Awareness Month. You can learn more about the signs and the symptoms and prevention at brgeneral.org. And, of course, you can reserve your COVID shot today. brgeneral.org.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with the certified pre-owned vehicle.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Yo, Jacob Hester here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Center, the place that can be at your convenience during those inconvenient times. I know they've been that for me. I've got 4 boys, right? So sometimes stitches happen, and they have 6 convenient locations, one close to you to be able to be convenient for you. Remember, you can also check in online. PatientPlusUC.com is the website. That way you skip the line as well. Patient Plus Urgent Care Center, get in and get better.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At front to back, they got not 1, but 2 NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to front to back boat service.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the diehard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the City.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Jim Allen texted the show, there goes the ratings, after my Hump Day open. I said, no. Ratings spike. David Benoit, dude, you made all the guys in our welding shop yell at me to turn off the Sterling. I don't know what the Sterling is. Maybe the streaming is what he meant. But either way, hey, David Benoit, make sure that you and the fellas there in the welding shop call our friends at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Shout out. Hey, Muse.
Yeah.
Always plug the sponsor.
Always.
Kendall Rogers, D1Baseball.com. Good enough to join us now. I need your help over there in that Muse. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Doing fantastic, man. Really good day. Hey, by the way, as you've aged, have you, like you and I are about the same age, have you noticed how different Cinco de Mayo is once you like are married and have kids, or is that just me?
It's not just you.
Okay.
Actually, I had a friend of mine reach out and mention Cinco de Mayo, and I was kind of like, okay, this sounds kind of lame. You know, like, hey, let's go get margaritas on Cinco de Mayo. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, dude, I just want to sit by my pool at home.
Yeah. Used to be such a big
Maybe
day.
I'm getting old.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be such a massive go-out day, and now I just don't have any interest. I'll stay home and drink margaritas probably today. Maybe eat some queso. Maybe a little order out. Maybe a burrito. Don't know. Get crazy.
That sounds good.
I know, right? Doesn't it? It's weird what sounds good.
That sounds awesome, actually.
Right? It is. That's how you know, man. Your glory days are gone, brother. Some might be saying the same thing about LSU baseball. How about that transition? D1 Baseball has got their latest.
That's a very good transition, by the way.
Thank you. Professional radio guy. D1 Baseball has their projected field of 64 out, and LSU's not in it. So, Kendall, what's interesting is usually around this time of year when you and I are talking, it's all right, what does LSU have to do to get into the national seed conversation? Mm-hmm. We really, in the last 10 years, haven't had the how do they get into the tournament conversation. So let's start there. Why is LSU not presently in and not even included in the first 5 out?
Well, I mean, right now, if you look at the conference record, I mean, they've got to win their final 3 series just to get to 13 wins. And if you remember Kentucky, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago when they had that good team that, upset a couple of, basically kind of like LSU. They had a couple of nice series wins, but, they went in the SEC tournament, only won 13 games, lost in the tournament in the first game, and they did not get in. Now, LSU certainly has more cachet with a committee than someone like Kentucky. However, if you're Paul Mainieri, you want to try to be better than 13 wins when you get in the tournament. You want to really be at 14. So for LSU to enter the conference tournament feeling okay about its chances, that's assuming there's not a lot of upsets in different conference tournaments, which is a lot to ask for. That not happening. For LSU to feel cautiously optimistic about making the tournament, they probably need to get to 14 wins. I think 13 gives them a shot if they won a couple in Hoover. But if they can get to 14, I think that probably would get them in. But, I mean, that's sweeping someone and winning 2 out of 3 in the remaining series. Doable? Do I expect it? Probably not.
Yeah. Forgive me if you don't know this, but is there precedent for a team getting in with 13 conference wins from the SEC?
I want to say it's happened before, but it certainly is not common. Kentucky was one of those teams that year. I'm trying to remember. I mean, they had their team was loaded. It was Nick Mingione's first year.
Was that Sean Jelly?
Yeah, that was that group. I mean, they were good. They just had some stinkers, some series that were absolute stinkers that held them back. But I remember, I want to say they went down to like A&M and a couple other places that year and just like whipped up on them a little bit. But I want to say there's been 1 or 2 teams that have done that. But again, when you look at teams that have done that, it's probably teams, Matt, that struggled in conference but did things out of conference. The problem you run into with LSU is if you're the committee and you look at LSU's resume right now, what is the reasoning for them getting in? I mean, it's one thing if they did a lot in non-conference. You could go, okay, well, the SEC is just that good, which it is. But out of conference, they lost a series at ORU and were taken to the absolute max against UTSA. So they don't have non-conference marquee weekends or conference marquee weekends for the most part. With that said, it's still LSU. We all love to see LSU in the postseason. And again, I think if they can get to 14 wins, whether it's winning 12 in the regular season and winning 2 in Hoover, or getting there in the regular season, I think if they get to 14, I think they'll squeak in.
Okay. So you've put this one on a tee for me. Kendall, they are undefeated midweek games.
Yeah, but I mean, they look at what they've done on the weekend, though, in non-conference.
You mean midweek games don't matter toward the committee?
I mean, not really. I mean, I hate to say that because they would dispute it all day long, but I just don't think I don't think they really care. I mean, I don't think they care about them. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to put words in their mouths, but I don't think they care about them.
Of course they don't. I mean, it's just this never-ending argument that goes on.
I know you're being facetious. I'm just saying.
Look, man. I've fought this battle for so long as LSU fans melt when they lose a Tuesday night game to Southeastern or something. It just doesn't matter. In 2011, LSU was 13-17. It was the last time they missed postseason. They were 13-17. Their RPI was 23-ish. I mean, they were the highest RPI team. They got left out, but that's when the SEC. That was before they expanded the conference tournament. So LSU didn't make it to Hoover, and it was thought that was the thing that counted against them. So let's say hypothetically, Kendall, they win 2 out of 3 of the next 3 weekends. They end up 13-17. They go to Hoover. Do you think? Do you think that it's possible, even if they don't win a game in Hoover, that just making that tournament would get them in with an RPI in the low 20s?
It could. I mean, there's precedent in 2 different ways.
Okay.
You mentioned LSU that year. North Carolina, I want to say it was about 5 or 6 years ago, had an RPI of like 21, but they finished like 3 or 4 games under 500 in their conference. I want to say they made the conference tournament, but didn't win a game, and they were left out. So I think there is precedent for a team making the conference tournament and still being left out, but I mean, could I see them getting in if they just made it and got to 13 wins? Yeah, I could.
Okay.
It would just require chalk across the board in these different conference tournaments. You would not want to see, for instance, in the Metro Atlantic, where Fairfield is I don't even know what the record is now. It's like 27-1. they're probably getting in no matter what at this point because their RPI is like 6, even though they're obviously not that good. But their RPI is 6, they're obviously getting in, right? So what you don't want is like Ryder to win the Metro Atlantic because all of a sudden the Metro Atlantic becomes a 2-bid league. So the key for LSU, get to 13 wins, and if you're Palminary and that staff and you're LSU fans, you're watching conference tournaments and you do not want to see upsets.
A couple more minutes here with Kendall Rogers, D1Baseball.com. He's on Twitter at Kendall Rogers. If you love college baseball and you're not following Kendall, you're just doing it wrong. Let me get a quick thought, a thumbnail if I could, on it. What LSU has remaining here. They go to Auburn this weekend. Auburn's obviously not very good, but they did win a series this past weekend at Georgia. When you look at this series, is this one that you would expect LSU to be able to go on the road and take 2 out of 3?
You would think, but I mean, I will say this about Auburn, guys, is they have a very deceptive record. I mean, if you look at some of their series, I mean, they were in absolute dogfights in a lot of these series. Like, the Alabama series, they could have very easily won that one. The Florida series, they took Florida to the wire at home. So, I mean, it's not like they're going into, other than Mississippi State, I want to say it's not like they're going in every weekend and just getting absolutely bombarded. I think they did have a lopsided loss against Ole Miss and Oxford. But here recently, they've actually played a lot better. So it'd probably be a stretch to say like it's totally expected. But I mean, if you're LSU, you've got the more talented club. You've got to win games. I would say, they should win this series. I mean, Landon Marceau, I thought did really, really well against Arkansas, and I really I kind of look at that game, Matt, as like a microcosm of the LSU season. Like Landon Marceau looked awesome.
Yeah.
Yet they still lost 7-0, right? And so that game for me was a microcosm of the season. They just got to be more consistent. It's like a broken record at this point, but it's like, okay, Landon Marceau is awesome in the opener. Arkansas has a late, rush to score 7 runs. On Sunday, it's like, oh, wait a second, we need to start hitting the ball. Yet the pitching allows 17 runs. So there's just nothing being pieced together. And if they can just, find a way to do that, and I get it, like you're probably laughing, like there's no way they're going to do that, but it happens every year, guys, where there's a team or two down the stretch that all of a sudden the light switch just comes on. And they're not teams that get to Omaha, but they're teams that can certainly find their way to the postseason, and maybe that's the kind of team that LSU can be.
I mean, the glimmer of hope people around here hang on to is that 2018 Mississippi State squad that went 15-15 in conference and ended up in the championship series in Omaha. Kendall, I don't think this LSU team has that in them. There's just way too many holes, but it would be awesome to see them get into the postseason because it's better when teams like LSU, programs with that cachet, are in the postseason. If I put you on the spot today, do you think LSU makes a regional?
I think they don't.
Okay.
I think Auburn on the road is going to be tough. I think A&M the final weekend. That's probably Rob Childress' last home series. They're going to be amped up for that. They'll probably know at that point that's his last series at home. So I just think when you look at that, it's going to be tough for them to get to 13 or 14 wins. But, I'm rooting for it because obviously there could be some changes down the road that nationally and there regionally with the LSU program. And I would love nothing more than to see this team get to the postseason and have a shot to make some noise.
On Twitter at Kendall Rogers. Give him a follow. Read his stuff at D1Baseball.com. You're the best, man. Thanks so much for a few minutes as always.
You got it, Matt. Be good, buddy.
Okay, man. That's Kendall Rogers. This is After Further Review. We'll go around the SEC, a little Bourbon Dictionary later this hour. Ton to get to, and glad you're hanging out. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, Dine In, Carry Out, 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV, of course. The LSU Auburn series begins tomorrow. Need a place to watch all 3 games? Get by Pluckers. Either location, Nicholson just south of campus or Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. If you can't be at the box or at the ballpark, go watch the game at Pluckers. Now remember, any game you want to watch, they got. They got the MLB Extra Innings package or MLB TV. They've got the NBA League Pass. Every single game you want to watch from all of your favorite sports leagues, they have at Pluckers in spectacular high definition. Go to the Bluebonnet location. You got to go take a leak. You stand at the urinal. There's a TV at the urinal. Go wash your hands because you should always wash your hands. They got a TV behind the mirror while you wash your hands. It's at Pluckers. And did I mention they got the best wings that you'll ever shove into your face? Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, Dine In, Carry Out. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Camry for $299 per month. That's $299 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I'm feeling good. So good. I just thought you should know.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Hey, you know why our text line is awesome?
I mean, plenty of reasons, but why? I mean, they can just text you right into the show and get right to you.
Or anytime. Because people do. That's the great thing about texting. If I don't get to it right away, well, I'll get to it when I do. But Michael, I'll say his last name. Shout out to Michael Phillips. Thank you for listening. And it's his birthday today. I texted him happy birthday because on the community app, it tells me when it's people's birthday, so I text them. It's not a bot, by the way. It's actually me. My fat finger's texting you. 225-396-4400, 396-4400. He said, hey, wondering about something from 10 years ago. Did anyone ever get an explanation of why Les Miles kept Jordan Jefferson in the BCS title game? Did Lee do something wrong at some point in the year?
I mean, bro, it's May 5th, 2021. They won the title in 2019. They're the best team ever. That is so out of left field.
Which is why it's amazing. And it's his birthday, so he can do it.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday, Michael Phillips. I watched that game in the Superdome January 9th with Jordy Collada. We sat right next to each other covering that game. And watching it unfold, he and I had this conversation. You just knew. Like, this is a forever loss. This is the worst loss in the history of the program that people will never, ever get over. Not just that you lost a championship game. I mean, someone has to lose a championship game every time there's a championship game. But the manner in which you lost it, to whom you lost it, and by whom they were coached, all of those factors, even the sweet joy of 2019 cannot completely eliminate the scars of 2011. But 2019 was really fun. It certainly helped.
It helped, but you're right, not completely.
Oh, did it help? All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC in a second. Remind you about Shaw Bill's Tire and Auto Service. Love telling you about my friends over at Shaw Bill's. What an awesome company, man. Shaw Bill's been around for more than 50 years. Terrio was in here on Friday, and he was talking about how our Hudco trailer had a flat tire, and he brought it into Shaw Bill's, and they repaired the tire for free. It had a nail in it. They repaired it for free. Didn't buy the tire at Shaw Bill's. I mean, they bought the trailer. The trailer had tires on it. And you might wonder why. It's just because 50 years ago when they opened the doors, Mr. Charlie always said it's just the right thing to do. So, to this day, even if you didn't buy the tire, they'll repair it for you. Just what they do. And they treat you like family. And that's why people keep coming back year after year after year for 5 decades. Bumper-to-bumper auto service, name brand tires at wholesale prices. Shaw Bill's. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bill's, where we keep you rolling. Taylor Calandro in 10 minutes from right now. It is a Whiskey Wednesday, but it is also Cinco de Mayo. So get your whiskey questions in now, but you could certainly also feel free to ask tequila or Mexican beer questions, whatever you got. Email me, tweet me, jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat, text me. Thank you, Deuce. Your questions for Taylor on a Whiskey Wednesday coming up in about 10 minutes. Right now, though, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Texas A&M Aggies.
Jimbo Fisher announced first-year offensive lineman Chris Morris, presently not in school and is likely to transfer out of Texas A&M. He was a 4-star prospect, number 119 overall at any position in the 247 composite. Also, defensive backfield getting a little thinner. Super senior Trevon Fuller has entered the transfer portal. He's played 4 seasons, but of course, due to the NCAA giving everyone an option to play an extra season, Fuller will do that. He just will not do it in College Station.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Familiar name. Associate head men's basketball coach David Patrick. He has accepted a position on the Oklahoma basketball coaching staff. After spending just 1 season at Arkansas, of course, David Patrick was in Baton Rouge under Johnny Jones, credited with getting Ben Simmons to Baton Rouge. Patrick also served 2 seasons as head coach at UC Riverside, but he's moving on from Arkansas to Oklahoma.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn baseball's Johnny Ciccoli, who was the top-rated player in the state of Texas in 2020, has entered the transfer portal. His freshman season was the 2020 season where he'd kind of broken out before the pandemic shut the baseball season down. Well, when Auburn returned this season, Ciccoli dropped out of the starting lineup and 40 games in has not recorded a statistic. So he said, y'all are losing? Bleep you, I'm out. Transferring.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
And Vandy Baseball will open to full attendance for home games May 18th to 22nd, finishing the regular season. So that means against Florida International and Kentucky. Vandy games have been at 40% capacity. Sorry, Paulie. Since mid-April. Vandy, of course, has made a bid to host a regional, potentially a super regional. Presently, NCAA protocols recommend 50% capacity at championship events, but that's very likely to change by the time we get to the NCAA postseason for baseball. And there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get from Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Speaking of expanded crowds, we now have word in from Cleveland. Sorry, Muse, I didn't set you up for it.
Cleveland!
Johnny on the spot. 160,000 fans took in the draft in Cleveland last week in person. That's despite rough weather day one because, you know, it's Cleveland.
Cleveland.
The first year the draft was held in person in 2015. It moved from New York. They had it at Grant Park in Chicago. They had more fans in Cleveland than they did year one in Grant Park in Chicago. How about that? It's incredible. Not as many as they'd had in previous years when they went to Nashville, Philadelphia, which had larger crowds. But still amid the pandemic, to have 160,000 people come out is a great sign of progress. The next big in-person event for the NFL will be the Pro Football Hall of Fame enshrinements in August in Canton, also in Ohio, of course. But it's something that we've said and will continue to say. The benefit is the more we see events with people, the more familiar that feels. The more we go places and see people without masks, the more familiar that feels again, the more and more we'll get back to what our pre-COVID world was. And that's a fantastic thing. And the NFL played a big part in sports happening in 2020, of course, moving through their postseason virtually while everything else was shut down. And they're leading the way here, again, by having 160,000 people show up for a draft in Cleveland. So tip of the cap, we make fun of Cleveland a lot, and they deserve it. But tip of the cap to everyone who showed up and had a good time there at the draft in Cleveland. A great step forward for our society as a whole to have a large gathering like that. All right, it is after further review. Get my hat. Brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. You spent part of the morning yesterday in the Prairieville, Geismar, Dutchtown, Gonzales area. And that area we have found got absolutely hammered a few weeks ago with those hailstorms. So if you live in that area, do yourself a favor and give us a call at Hudco. We'll come by, offer you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. And the other thing that's been super beneficial, obviously, is we have seen insurance companies approving claims. So we'll put together the insurance claim. We'll file it with your insurance company. The adjuster will come out. We will handle that adjuster meeting, work with your insurance company to get your claim approved, get you a new roof, and all you pay is a deductible. So give us a shout. I can tell you one of the things I saw a lot was trucks from Alabama and Oklahoma and Texas and a lot of bordering states. Terrio says it all the time. Do business with someone you know. You know, a lot of times, unfortunately, what happens with the out-of-state companies is they'll come in, they'll door knock, they'll sign a bunch of people to contracts. Let's say they sign 50 homes in a neighborhood to a contract. They do a bunch of work, do 20 homes. So what if you're home 21 to 50? Well, now you're starting over at square one. Do business with a local company. Do business with someone you know. If you're in that Dutchtown, Geismar, Prairieville, Gonzales area, right there at 73, 74, give us a call at Hudco, 364-1007, 364-1007, or online at HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, Taylor Calandro joins us next for a little Bourbon Dictionary. Get your questions in right now. You can text them in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Bourbon Dictionary next here on AFR.
AFR.
What if you could truly energize your body and mind from the most fundamental level? Your cells. Celivate is a revolutionary, health-aware approach to energy, focus, and mood enhancement, packing everything you need to optimize your mind and body from the inside out. The unique formula combines top-notch cellular energizers, nootropics, herbal extracts, and powerful antioxidants, all in one sugar-free 12-ounce can. Elevate your cells. Celivate.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jacob Hester here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Center, the place that can be at your convenience during those inconvenient times. I know they've been that for me. I've got 4 boys, right? So sometimes stitches happen, and they have 6 convenient locations, one close to you to be able to be convenient for you. Remember, you can also check in online. PatientPlusUC.com is the website. That way you skip the line as well. Patient Plus Urgent Care Center, get in and get better.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana Barbecue Sauce, Louisiana Molasses Mustard, Spicy and Sweet Barbecue Rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25%.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. Tweet us your questions at Matt Moscona. Jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel, or text me in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Taylor Calandro joins us, Wine Spirits Director at Calandro's. How are you, dude?
Good, Matt. What's happening?
Man, doing really well. You sleeping at all?
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
All right, good.
More than I thought I was going to be.
Okay. This is new father here, Taylor Calandro. Taylor the third, or Taylor Jr., not the third, right? Taylor, of course, Mark is your dad. Taylor Jr., Tip, correct?
Yes.
Born,
TIP.
what do we go, 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks ago. Two weeks tomorrow?
2 weeks tomorrow, yeah.
How about that? Well,
yep, he's finally getting in a groove, and we're getting in a groove. So.
Good, man. It only gets better. And Cinco de Mayo helps. So,
absolutely.
Have some margaritas. James Delaney asks, hey, Matt, please ask Taylor, what are his top 3 suggestions for best sipping tequila since this market has begun to really expand? If he happens to know the ballpark price for ones he mentions, that would be an added bonus.
Okay. Yes, the market is expanding a ton on tequila, and the demand is going up for sure. My top 3, Clase Azul Reposado would probably be 1. Fortaleza Añejo would probably be 2. That's about 80 to 100. The Clase Azul is about 140, I think, now.
Explain the difference between Añejo and Reposado, too, please.
Oh, yeah. So basically there's silver, which is no aged on tequila. Then there's Reposado, which is like a year or so. Then you get to Añejo, which is, I think it's got to be 2 to be called an Añejo, 2 years, and Ultra Añejo, which has to be over 3 or 4 or something like that.
Okay.
So basically, it's just different ages of tequila. And people are probably used to bourbon, and young bourbon is like, bourbon's considered young when it's like 4 years old. Well, tequila's considered old. And it's because of the climate in Mexico. There's no fluctuation. It is hot all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So those barrels are getting the optimum suckage really quickly and yielding. Well, I mean, that's where that juice gets all the wood.
I
flavor from.
prefer optimum suckage, Taylor, just so you know. So you get it year-round in Mexico. It's a great place to be.
It is a great place. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on which part.
No, I'm just talking about for optimum suckage.
Oh, for optimum suckage, yeah, absolutely.
Great place to be.
Great wood suckage coming from Mexico.
Man, see, I was there. See, I was at the line, and then you just stepped right. You ran across the line, is what you did.
I did. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's quite all right. By the way, I like Don Julio Blanco. Like $50. That's a really good one. I just throw a twist of lime in it, and I drink that by the pool all summer long. If you're looking for something that's not $100 a bottle. Here's one from Tad Page, who said, Taylor, what's the most popular beer from Mexico, and what is your favorite Mexican beer?
The most popular beer from Mexico is probably Corona. Dos Equis is up there, too. Now, if you go to Mexico, I think the most popular beer in Mexico is Dos Equis.
Okay.
From the last time I was there, I think it just felt like Dos Equis was everywhere. And what was the second half of the question?
What's your favorite Mexican beer?
I'm not a huge fan of Mexican beer.
Really?
I don't know. It's just got a funky flavor to me. I do like a Caribbean beer called Carib, C-A-R-I-B, like Caribbean, C-A-R-I-B. I think it's similar to Mexican beer. I'm just not a huge fan of Mexican beer.
Okay. Cole Pierce, Whiskey Wednesday. Do you carry number one tequila, Ron White's tequila?
I think we had it, but I don't think we have it anymore. We may have got it once or twice. It just didn't really sell.
Okay. Let's see. Ask Taylor, what can you mix with 1800 coconut tequila?
Anything. 1800 coconut with pineapple juice. I'm not a big mixologist. I don't know. Do you have any input for that?
Nope, not at all. I'm not, I do drink good tequila during the summer. Like I said, I don't like to sit out by the pool or go to the beach and drink bourbon. I can't do it. So I drink tequila instead. But I just get a really good sipper that I throw a twist of lime in, and that's it.
I'm the same way. And it's either I'm sipping it or I'm getting it made for me at a restaurant. Either or.
That's about right.
I think tequila is great by itself.
Let's get a couple more here for you and get your questions in for Taylor Calandro. Gosh, dog it, I lost my spot. I'm sorry. What about this is from John Hopper. What about 4 comma tequila?
I haven't heard of that one. 4 comma. I'm have to look that up. Tequila. I'm still not an expert in tequila. I mean, I love tequila, but there's a lot of tequila out there, and I haven't quite mastered all of them yet.
Is there Is there a correlation to tequila's increasing popularity to the increasing popularity in bourbon in the last, call it, 5 years? Like, has the bourbon market caused people to look at other spirits and that elevated their popularity?
Yes. So, I mean, bourbon is what everybody comes from everywhere to originally drink, I think. And the more they find out, bourbon's not really easy to get.
Yeah.
They turn to tequila a little more. And I do think that there's a direct correlation with that, with sipping rum. Any kind of aged spirit, bourbon is the primary reason they're taking off. And tequila is definitely taking off.
I got about a minute left. See if we can get a few more. Ask Taylor, any exciting bourbons coming in?
Man, this time of year, it is slow for releases in general. And I've been out the past 2 weeks, and I mean, when you're out that long, it might not seem like a long time, but things pass you up really quickly. So
Understood.
That's a good question. Stay tuned. I don't know.
2 more. Ask Taylor, do you sell any Florida beers?
Florida beers. Man, that is a tough. I mean, I have Cigar City. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head right now. I'm sure I have more than that, but that's the only one I can think of.
What about the ones from the coast? Like what's it like? 30A or they got beers like that, don't they?
Yeah, it was 38 Brewing Company or whatever. We used to carry them, but I don't even know if they're carried by the distributor anymore.
Okay.
But there is a brewery on 38, and we used to carry it.
I got 20 seconds left. I want to ask you about Elijah Craig Rye.
Yeah, I haven't tried it. It's available in other markets, but it's not available in Louisiana yet, and I haven't got the chance to try it.
When are we getting it?
I haven't heard that either. I think it's supposed to be coming at some point this year, and I heard it's good, but that's all I'm at.
All right, I want it. Taylor Calandro, Wine and Spirits Director over at Calandro's. Thanks, man.
All right, Matt. Thanks.
All right, be well. It is after further review, hour number 2, kicking off LSU basketball with another defection. We'll talk about it next, AFR.
AFR.
Give yourself the gift of sight. The Williamson Eye Center can make it happen. I'll be going over to Williamson Eye Center on Friday. It's surgery day for Dr. Blake over there. Be people just like I was about 3 years ago. Going into that operating room, depending on glasses or contacts, squinting to see, or like I was when I took my contacts out, just absolutely blind. The world was nothing but a giant blur to me. I was so nearsighted. It was a negative 5.25 was my prescription. And then it changed. In a very quick procedure, very safe procedure, had LASIK, sat up on the table. I could see the clock across the room, and over the next 2 weeks, everything just got clearer and clearer and clearer. And still today, 3 years removed, still seeing better than 2020. So Williamson Eye Center, give yourself the gift of sight. No matter your age or your refractive issue, Dr. Blake Williamson has an option for you. Learn more at williamsoneye.com, williamsoneye.com.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with the certified pre-owned vehicle.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, Trolling Motors. At Front to Back, they got not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to Front to Back Boat Service.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. It seems just about everyone has a prediction about what Aaron Rodgers will do in Green Bay, including the guy he replaced as Packers quarterback, Hall of Famer Brett Favre.
I think I know Aaron fairly well, and honestly, I just don't see him coming back and just saying, all right, let's bury the hatchet.
Brett Favre today on ESPN Wisconsin. The Cowboys cut nose tackle Antoine Woods, who was a regular starter during his 3 years in Dallas. As part of a global event on Saturday night to encourage people to get COVID-19 vaccines, the NFL will put up 50 free tickets to Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles for fans who get a shot. Mets ace Jacob deGrom could be back on the mound Sunday against the Diamondbacks at Citi Field. deGrom was scratched from his last start with a sore back. First final of the day in Cincinnati, the Reds beat the White Sox 1-0 on a 10th-inning walk-off RBI from Jesse Winker, but the Reds may lose Joey Votto for a month with a broken left thumb.
The next generation of paint protection is here. New 303 graphene nanospray coating will provide up to 12 months of professional-level protection, insane water beating, and jaw-dropping shine with one simple application. Visit 303radio.com for more information.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplek. We're here, glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We'll continue our SEC spring recaps. Head up to Columbia, South Carolina in about 15 minutes. Our buddy Jay Phillips will join us. Todd Graffagnini, radio voice of the Pels, bottom of this hour. They did it again. I mean, almost incredibly. Like, we're on air talking about the benefit of them losing yesterday. I laid out mathematically the practical mathematical benefit of the Pelicans finishing with the 7th worst record as opposed to the 10th worst record, which will literally more than double their odds of ending up in the top 4 in the draft lottery. And they go out and they beat Golden State. They just won't die. Lonzo Ball goes out there and has a career high. Puts up 11 points in the first quarter. Hit 12 points in the final 3 minutes of the game. Same guy that hit the side of the backboard with a three-pointer the night before. Unbelievable. So we'll talk about that with Graf. Here was Lonzo, by the way, after the game, talking about his bounce-back performance.
I just knew I let my team down, and I wasn't going to do that 2 nights in a row. I know the type of player I am, and I believe in myself. So I was very confident coming in tonight. I knew I wasn't going to shoot, 3 for 18 again. So I just wanted to let Z know I was there. I was going to be there with him tonight, and I did my best, doing that.
All right. So we'll talk to Graf coming up here in about 25 minutes from right now, because now the conversation does shift. So you're 2 games out from 10. So from the 10 spot. So as you look ahead, they got a 5-game road trip coming ahead. It's not going to be easy. We'll talk about that with Graff, how this team looks coming down the stretch. That's coming up here again in about 25 minutes from right now. From the pros to the college ranks, LSU center Josh Gray has entered the transfer portal today. So we had kind of been earlier in the week, after LSU got over the weekend the announcement of the transfer from Adam Miller from Illinois. His paperwork's not in yet, but it's going to be a done deal when the paperwork comes in. We talked a little bit about the numbers and how roughly, actually more than half of LSU's roster is turning over, with 7 new players, either transfers or freshman signees. So Josh Gray, it's an interesting one because he signed as a 3-star. He was the 34th best center in the country out of Brooklyn. He didn't really have a role a year ago. I mean, he played in just 10 games last season, averaged less than a point a game. And I kind of get it, though, because a year ago, Will Wade was coming off of a season where he was small, and he knew his roster was small. And because they were small, that was a massive deficiency. They needed rim protection. They needed length. And so they went out and got it. They added Brian Penn Johnson. They added Sharif O'Neal. They added Josh Gray. And the thought with a guy like Josh Gray is, okay, he's a legitimate 7-footer. Maybe he develops, gives you some key minutes off the bench. Or maybe he just sort of takes a redshirt year and then develops into that player. Well, a year ago it made sense. Right now it doesn't make sense to have Josh Gray on the roster if you have a guy that you feel like you can add and you need that roster spot. I think we just have to get used to this. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that what's happening in college basketball is good or bad. It's just different. Of course, this is impacted by the transfer portal. This is impacted by the new transfer rule allowing players to leave and have immediate eligibility. Some people bemoan that. Some people don't care. Some people think it's great. Wherever you stand, I don't necessarily think that it's good or bad. It's just different, and we have to get used to it. Like, play out this Josh Gray scenario with me. Okay. Josh Gray could come back, sit on the bench at LSU. He could take up a roster spot, not playing, or he could go somewhere else and play immediately. I mean, there's a benefit to Josh Gray. He gets to leave and play immediately. And if you're LSU, you don't have that hole on your roster. You can now fill that spot with someone who you feel can have an impact in this season. So LSU can either have that hole on its roster with a guy that's occupying a spot that's not going to be an impact guy, or they can now go get a player that is going to be more likely to be an impact guy this year. So it benefits both in that sense. I mean, it just means that you're going to have more roster turnover. Every year, you're going to have half of your roster turnover because if guys leave early for the draft or guys aren't producing and you feel like you can tap into the transfer market and get someone that is a contributor. You can go get a veteran guy like Xavier Pinson or an Adam Miller. You have these options now. It just changes how coaches construct their roster, how they think about recruiting. I mean, I don't think this is really any different than a one and done. What does it matter if that 1-year player transfers or goes to the league? It's still a one and done player. This has basically turned everybody into Kentucky. Do you think that Kentucky basketball fans love Kentucky basketball any less because they've produced so many one and dones, because they've had to get used to a different roster every single year? No. I mean, listen, John Calipari has produced 28 one and dones, and that's before this year. So we'll see how many guys actually stay in the draft who decides to return to Kentucky. But before the 2021 draft, he's produced 28 one and done players. It's an enormous amount of turnover and getting to know a new roster every year. But these guys come in, they win, they go to the league. Kentucky wins. It's a mutual benefit. It's not right, wrong. It's not good or bad. It's just different. I think we all just have to get accustomed to the fact that that's how it's going to be. College basketball is never going back to the years of guys staying three or 4 years. It hasn't been that way for 2 decades, and it's never going back to that. So how rosters are constructed will change. We'll have to get to know new faces more quickly and more often. But this allows Will Wade the opportunity to win next year, whereas with the amount of turnover, losing his 4 best players, his 4 top contributors from this past season, normally that would be a death knell. You'd be destined for a rebuilding season. Now it doesn't have to be that because you can add veteran guys like Pinson and Miller and these guys. Go add these transfers. Make your roster better immediately. See if you can work them together to gel together for a common purpose and be better this season immediately. There's good, there's bad. It's just different. So Josh Gray transferring out of the LSU basketball program, which now means Will Wade has 2 spots open still to add either high school signees or transfers through the transfer portal. All right, after further review, brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson and Bluebonnet, dine in or carry out. Let me knock out a quick break. With spring football wrapping up, we've been bouncing around the conference, checking in every SEC city, getting spring recaps. We'll head up to Columbia, South Carolina. Our buddy Jay Phillips, who does our radio up there in Columbia, is going to join us next, talk about the Gamecocks in the first spring under new coach Shane Beamer. That's next. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com. One of the things that's beneficial about Pinnacle, I tell you about how they can build you a gorgeous pool and make your outdoor area a showplace. Remember, at Pinnacle, they stock aluminum and wood. They have a big 5-acre facility there on Jefferson Highway. They stock aluminum and wood. So a lot of contractors right now are having trouble getting those materials in. Pinnacle keeps it stocked so they can get to your job quicker. Also, because they do the work in-house, there's many benefits to that. Because if you're building a pool, they dig your pool. They pump it, seal it. They do their own tile, drainage, concrete, design, collaboration. And because of that, they're not dealing with multiple contractors. It's easier to coordinate schedules. It's not like, well, the fence guy's coming in. Is he going to step on the pool guy? You never worry about that with Pinnacle. And they will build you a gorgeous pool, outdoor kitchen, fences, decks. They do it all. Pinnacle Exterior Construction.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
At Cornell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new RAV4 for $329 per month. That's $329 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cornell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help. and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, stopping off in every SEC town to recap spring football. Back into the SEC East today as we head into Columbia, South Carolina. Let's check in on the Gamecocks.
The SEC Spring Recap on After Further Review. The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Check in with our buddy Jay Phillips from 107.5 The Game up there in Columbia. Shane Beamer's first spring. How did it go? Let's find out. Jay, how are you, man?
Well, Matt, and by the way, the slogan for the chicken place, "We'll give you the finger." Can I
bird.
borrow that?
The bird.
Can I borrow that?
No.
That was fantastic.
We'll give you the bird, Jay. So if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Nobody's giving anybody the finger. We're giving you the bird.
For the bird, yeah.
That's
what
we're
I'm
giving you the bird.
sorry.
Come on, man. Like
I wouldn't take it either way. My bad.
Understood.
That's fantastic. So that's all I want to talk about the rest of the way. Football, sure, but I want to give you the bird. If I could do that to people, man. Anyway, listen, spring here was good. It's very different here, Matt, and you guys over there are familiar with Will Muschamp. Obviously, we all are in the SEC. I look at the differences, and I don't want to do this as some kind of indictment on Will. I don't want to relitigate the failures, especially of the last two and a half seasons under Will Muschamp. But it went downhill very, very quickly. And I think a lot of it was, I don't know how much good, I hate to use the pun, but how much goodwill Will Muschamp ever really built up in Columbia. And, this is not Baton Rouge. This is not the LSU program. This is not Georgia. This is not a school that is loaded with talent, but it is loaded with as passionate a fan base as any other in the SEC, because you all know, everybody is filled with it, right? And I just think there was a disconnect between, Will wanted to do everything, Matt. Literally, man. He wanted to be the head coach. He was basically the defensive coordinator. He was the PR guy. He was the media spokesman. He was the recruiting coordinator. He was the safeties coach. At some point, you got to back up a little bit and just say, hey, I got a good staff. They make a lot of money. I'm going to go talk to my people, high school coaches, my fans, touchdown clubs, Rotary clubs. And instead, Will spent his time in the film room. Shane is doing the opposite. He is out in the community. He is allowing his coaches to talk. He is meeting with coaches that he's not at schools that he's not recruiting at their players right now. He's just he's introducing himself and saying, "Here's my vision for South Carolina." And quite honestly, man, I don't think Will Muschamp ever really did a good job at that. And you can feel it in what some of the players are saying too. I know it's a long answer for me to get started with you, but there is a tangible difference already in attitude around the program. And I think it's a positive one because I've been here most of my life, man. And Carolina fans appreciate that in a way that I don't think Coach Muschamp ever really understood.
Mm-hmm. No, it makes sense. And typically if an athletic director fires a coach, they're going to hire someone who's sort of personality-wise and philosophically is polar opposite. So it does make sense. So, of course, you've got to excite the fan base, but you also got to win. So what type of team is Shane Beamer going to have? We'll get in some specifics in a second, but just generally speaking, what type of team is he going to have in year one?
Well, let's start with the offense because I think that's where the fun is going to be. It may not be next year. Again, talent is everything in the Southeastern Conference, and the Gamecocks still need a lot more of it. But here again, without sounding like I'm relitigating, I think Mike Bobo did a tremendous job here last year, all things considered. He didn't have much to work with, especially in the passing game. Colin Hill was a good enough quarterback to throw the ball, but and Carolina was in Baton Rouge last year. You saw him firsthand, Matt. He didn't have receivers, man. He had Shi Smith, and that was it. That was it. And defenses knew that. And by about the third game of the season, defenses were like, put 2 on that guy. They can't throw it to anybody else. And that was a literal truth. But Mike, dare I say, coached in a box. This is my way. I will make my way work with what I have, or it won't work. I think Marcus Satterfield, who coached with Joe Brady in Charlotte last year, and brings a lot from that Matt Rule system, coupled with what Shane is going to bring from Lincoln Riley and what Shane learned from Steve Spurrier, not to mention the special team stuff and some of those other elements. This is a lot more of my buddy Josh Kendall from The Athletic called it a mad scientist kind of offense with what Marcus Satterfield wants to do. So I can't really tell you what it's going to look like yet because I don't think they fully know. But rather than saying we're going to line up with a fullback, a tight end, a tailback, 2 guys on the outside, and my quarterback under center half the time, and this is what we will do, I think they are trying to figure out, and Shane told us this on my show last Thursday, who are our best 8 players? He asked every position coach for offense and defense, who are our best 8 players? But especially, he said, on offense, who are they? And for the most part, I think he got like 11 or 12 answers, he said. They're going to build around those guys. What do they do well? So this summer, I think you see that experimental stuff, that laboratory stuff. How do we utilize this guy? How do we utilize that guy? Can our quarterback make the throw? Can we get this guy open? You got Kevin Harris, who was an 1,100-yard back in the conference last year. You got Marshawn Lloyd. You got Zaquandre White, an FSU transfer, who's pretty good and did well in the spring game, take it as you will. So they've got some pieces. I just don't know if they know how to put them all together yet.
Yeah. Jay Phillips is our guest, SEC Spring Recap, looking at South Carolina. What about on defense? You got anything over there?
Yeah, I like J.J. Enagbare a lot on one defensive end, man. He Carolina's had some good ones the last few years. Nobody's going to be clowning for a while, but who is, right? But I think they put a lot of defensive linemen into the National Football League in the last decade here, and I think that's going to continue. I like Kinlaw a couple of years ago. Right now, again, I like Enagbare. I like Zach Pickens. I like Jordan Birch. I like Ricky Sandage. And I'll tell you, Matt, and I'm dead serious about this. I'm not saying it's the best, okay? I'm not. But South Carolina has a bona fide defensive line for the Southeastern Conference. There are multiple NFL guys on there. They're deep. They're talented. Now they've got experience. If there is one unit where you could go, where is South Carolina for real, it is defensive line. That said, there's very little depth at linebacker. There's very little depth at defensive back. So those guys up front are going to be counted upon to wreak havoc as best they can in both the run and pass game and try to take pressure off the guys at the back. There's a couple of guys that are good. I like Sherrod Green as a linebacker, but if he's on an island next year, that's not good. You just lost J.C. Horn and Israel Mukuamu to the NFL draft. There are not like-for-like replacements for those guys on South Carolina's roster at DB. So they're thin back there, and they'll need those guys up front to make some things happen for them. But I do think those guys up front can pull it off.
Jay, a couple more. Peek at that schedule with me. What are fans expecting year one under Shane Beamer, and what's realistic? And are the two is the answer to the two the same?
Well, let's go with the non-cons. Clemson, of course, is one of them. The other 3 are Eastern Illinois, East Carolina, and
Troy. I'm looking at Troy.
Troy. Thank you. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me. Troy. You better win those, man. That's all I'm going to say. And going to East Carolina is not a cakewalk for this team right now. I really believe that they should win that game, but they should have beaten Appalachian State a couple of years ago. With all due respect to App State.
Right.
An SEC team in your building, you got to win. I think going to Greenville, North Carolina means you still have to win as an SEC team, even if it's Vandy or a bad Mizzou team or something like that. So, Matt, I think bowl eligibility is still something that people expect here, and now if that just means 6, so be it. You need to beat Vanderbilt. Where do the other conference wins come from? Maybe Kentucky, maybe Tennessee, maybe Missouri. I don't know about too many others right now.
Yeah. And the Tennessee and Missouri games are both on the road, and the draw from the West is brutal. It's at A&M, and then the home game against Auburn is the rotator. So, and then you throw in Clemson on the pile, and you also got Georgia and Florida. It's easy to see how it could be a bit of a struggle year one under Shane Beamer. But is it safe to say, Jay, last thing, is it safe to say that fans there are willing to be patient with Shane Beamer?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And again, I'll go back to my first point. This is a hire. Fans here appreciate the fact that Shane's not BSing them when he said, "This is my dream job." Shane and Emily Beamer were here for 4 seasons under Steve Spurrier. 2 of their children were born here. They really like this town, which I appreciate as someone who's from here. It is a nice place to raise a family. It's not Atlanta, or anything like that. But I mean, it's a good town. It's like Baton Rouge. It's a big city. It's got enough for a great family feel, big school, state capital, a lot of amenities.
Yeah.
He loves it here, and they love the fact that he loves it here, and that this is what he wants. He could have gone to Virginia Tech, Matt,
right?
And he didn't. He really could have, and he didn't. So there's that part of it. And yes, they'll be patient because most of these people, and certainly the ones I deal with on my show or on Twitter or anything, understand that more than anything else, they got to get players. And Will's guys got a few, but they couldn't develop them. And that development key is a real big factor in this. And Shane's assistants have a track record of development, of doing more with less, as I've been saying. And I think people understand that's going to take some time.
He is Jay Phillips on Twitter at JPhillips1075 from 1075 The Game there in Columbia. Our SEC Spring recap looking at the Gamecocks. Jay, always appreciate it, man. Enjoy the rest of spring and summer. Hopefully we'll see you down in Hoover for Media Days.
Right back at you, bud. Talk soon.
Okay, man. We'll see you. Good stuff there. That's interesting. I get it, right? I mean, you return a quarterback. You're going to have a new, pretty wide-open offense. You like your defensive lines. Things you like. You lost some guys. You're going to get an energy boost from obviously being a new coach, the newness of it. What schedule? I mean, yeah, Eastern Illinois, East Carolina, Troy should be winnable. But, man, you're at Georgia, home against Kentucky. You're at Tennessee with a new coach. You're at A&M. And then look at after they play Vanderbilt, look at the last weekend in October and then November. They go at A&M. Look at the schedule for their stretch run. I would put this up against anybody in the country as far as most difficult. They go at A&M, home against Florida, at Missouri, which, look, I mean, Missouri surprising people last year. LSU lost there. Home against Auburn, home against Clemson. At A&M, Florida, at Missouri, Auburn, Clemson. They get your wins early, dog. They ain't going to come late. All right, it's after further review. Not got a quick break. Pels got a win last night. Surprising as it was. Voice of the Pels, Todd Graffagnini. He was on the call. He'll join us next. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you need dinner plans tonight, Ichiban, as I tell you every day, always a great option. Near Perkins, voted by you the best sushi and best hibachi in the Best of 225 awards. Ichiban is an experience. You can sit there at the sushi bar and watch the sushi chefs make your rolls. You could sit at the hibachi and enjoy a great entertaining meal as well. Great place to entertain a client, have a romantic date night. That is at Ichiban. Of course, my friends at Ichiban, their latest concept is Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. This is an authentic Japanese dining experience. And boy, is the word getting out. Every noodle, handmade. The broth is a 30-hour process. They've got craft beer, top shelf liquor, indoor and outdoor dining. The Sweet Society dessert shop is attached to Bo-Ru so you can cure that sweet tooth after your meal. It's Bo-Ru Ramen.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I don't usually say stuff like this, but, Lonzo, he texted me last night. He just said, my fault about last night, but I'm going to be there tomorrow. And I think, those are big words, and, he showed us what he's all about today. He came today, and he showed out. A lot of respect for that.
Great performance, career-high 33 points for Lonzo Ball, who predicted it in a text to Zion Williamson after his stinker on Monday, where he was 3 of 18. Pels improbably come back, beat Golden State. Just won't go away. Todd Graffagnini, radio voice of the Pels. He was on the call last night. Of course, for all the Pels games, with us right now. Graff, great to have you, man. Thanks for the time. How are you?
Thank you, Matt. I am doing great. Yeah, it's like Godfather 3, man. Once you think you're out, they bring you back in, baby.
Let me ask a fairly pointed one. Did you think they were going to get that win last night?
Ooh, that's a good question. When they were down 9 early in the fourth quarter and Golden State started to get it going really for the first time in the entire game, because look, the Pelicans played very well last night. They really, really did. And, but just, you didn't have enough consistent scoring throughout the night to really kind of put a run, because Golden State led most of the ball game. The only lead the Pels had, really going back to very early in the game, was right before halftime when it was 52-50. And then after that, it was pretty much Golden State up anywhere from 5 to 9 points, and they went on that early 11-6 run to give them that 9-point lead early in the fourth. And John DeShazer and I are looking at each other going, "Oh boy!" I mean, this is literally the season right here, because if you don't pull that one out last night, I mean, it's for all intents and purposes. I mean, it's never over until you're mathematically eliminated. But last night would have greased the track big time. So, yeah, 29-15 run to end the game and, made some, not only Lonzo made clutch shots, Eric Bledsoe made a clutch shot down the stretch. Yeah. 4 huge free throws as well from Zion Williamson, who had been, really struggling at the free throw line, Matt. The last 5 games for Zion, he'd only been shooting 60%, which is 10 points lower than his average the entire season. So he'd been struggling at the free throw line. So he makes the 2 clutch free throws in the clear path. And then Lonzo Ball, who literally has taken just north of 50 free throws the entire season, and Zion gets 50 in a week. And Lonzo knocks all 4 free throws he takes last night in clutch situations. So, I hate to borrow another movie line, but it's like Forrest Gump, man. It's a box of chocolates. You don't know. You just don't know. And we got 6 games left in a 9-day span, and here we go. You got your 3 back in the loss column of San Antonio, who's playing 8 games. Their schedule's tough, and it's daunting, but you got a shot.
Yeah,
you got a shot.
Graff, before we go any further, do you have an update on Brandon Ingram, who, for those that don't know, left the game last night with an ankle injury?
Yeah, no, we don't. There's no injury report today. It's an off day. And again, Matt, that's another thing. We've got today off and tomorrow off. That's the first time we've had 2 consecutive off days since late March.
That's crazy.
I mean, it has really been a grind. It's been every other day or back to back since basically March 23rd. So they have a well-deserved off day today. They're going to practice tomorrow before they fly up to Philly for Friday night's game. So we'll hear something tomorrow afternoon when the injury report comes.
Todd Graffagnini, radio voice of the Pels, good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us here. What about some of the new guys that they've added to the roster down the stretch? You and I haven't talked about this at all, so I'm just curious your impression.
Well, I mean, you got to start with Najee Marshall. Look, he has really been a find, and he had, he's a 2-way player. He was in the G League bubble in Orlando, and Matt literally did not play at all. I mean, at all this season. And he comes to the big club after the G League season is over. And, unfortunately, Josh Hart gets hurt. Mm-hmm. And we haven't seen Josh in 6 weeks now. And Najee Marshall has not completely, but tried to fill Josh Hart's role, and he's done it, not quite there, but he has given it his darndest shot at it. He's been a big-time energy guy. He can rebound. He can dish the ball. Najee still has issues finishing at the rim, which, unfortunately, we saw in both games against Golden State. The Pels missed a lot of shots at the rim against the Warriors. But, again, Najee brings energy off the bench. He brings hustle, which is something that Josh Hart brings, and you really need that. James Johnson, came over in the trade with Dallas, that sent Nico Melli and J.J. Redick over there. And he's just been a veteran and just a kind of on-court leader, even though he's only been with the team for a few weeks. He's really stepped into a type of vocal role, if you can believe that. Now, he had some issues with an abductor strain. He missed 4 games, but, he's been able to score. He's a decent defender. He's a good communicator. So he's been okay. Those are really the 2 guys that jump out at you that really did not have much of a role all year long, and now they're playing significant minutes, especially Najee Marshall.
Graff, let's look ahead. Obviously, the 5-game road trip is coming.
Right.
When you look at the standings and what's ahead, and obviously you and I can speculate, no coach or player would ever do this, but what do you think they have to do in these final 6? I mean, do you have to run the table and get help? I mean, is that what you need here?
Well, you've got to get help, Matt. I mean, you can't.
Sure.
I mean, even if you go 6-0, if San Antonio goes, 6-2, you're not going to catch them. So, and they have the tiebreak. So you actually have to finish with 1 less loss than San Antonio does. It's all about the loss column, as you well know. I mean, you pay attention to that in baseball. So the only difference is that San Antonio has 2 more games. Now, they're going to make up one of those tonight ironically playing the Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City. So said nobody ever in the city of New Orleans go Jazz
Right.
since they stole our name. But anyway, you get my drift. No, I think, I mean, bare bones minimum 4-2, bare bones.
Okay.
Now, the only thing you got going for you is San Antonio's schedule is pretty tough.
Yes.
The only game that, if you look at it on paper, that they should win is in Sacramento. But Sacramento's capable of hanging 135, 140 points on you at a given night, especially if the Aaron Fox is going off. So no game is a layup. But if you look at the other ones, I mean, it starts tonight in Utah, who's battling for a 1 seed. I know they're going on the New York trip where they got to play Brooklyn and the Knicks. And, of course, the Knicks are trying to solidify even a 4 spot. Brooklyn's trying to get the 1 seed, so they're playing for something. And then they finish with a back-to-back in Phoenix. And Phoenix is going for the 1 seed in the West. So the crazy thing about the play-in, you know, no matter what the heck LeBron James thinks about the play-in, it's fantastic. Because if you look at the Pelicans side of things in the 6 games that we've got, Matt, every team that the Pelicans are playing is either trying to solidify themselves in the play-in tournament or stay out of it. You don't have a team that you're thinking they're not gonna play their big guns tonight, because they have to keep the spots that they're in. Even the Lakers, who are the last game of the regular season on Sunday the 16th, the Lakers could be trying to avoid a play-in situation when the Pelicans play them on that last day, because they've hit the skids. It's fascinating stuff. And again, if there's no play-in, Matt, I mean, our season is over. I mean, we're literally playing out the string the next 6 games. So it's going to be fascinating to watch. And depending on who shows up on a night in and night out basis, I can promise you there is no team that the Pelicans are not capable of beating if they are on their game. And there's no team that the Pelicans are not capable of losing to. It's just who shows up. And hopefully Brandon Ingram will be ready to go, because we're going to need him.
The Spurs, as you mentioned, sitting there in the 10, they do have the toughest remaining schedule in the NBA.
Yeah.
So that does work in the Pelicans' favor. And you're right about the play-in. Look, it keeps more teams and more fan bases interested longer. Now, you want to talk about fairness, about playoffs? We could have all that conversation.
Right,
you know, why do you play 72? But the reality is it's achieving its absolute purpose. All right, Pels have 6 to go. Todd Graffagnini, radio voice of the Pels. Of course, you can hear the games on our New Orleans affiliate, 100.3 ESPN New Orleans, with Graff on the call. Always great to catch up, man. Appreciate a couple of minutes. See how they do down these final 6, this final stretch.
Thank you, Matt. Buckle up, baby.
All right, Graff. Thanks, man. We'll see you. Todd Graffagnini, always great to join us on Twitter at NTGraff. Y'all give Graff a follow. I mean, it's y'all know where I stand. I mean, we've had this conversation and been having this conversation, I think, really since they lost that game to the Knicks, where they blew the lead at the end and lost it in overtime. It's more beneficial for them, in my opinion, to lose and play for the lottery. But when you're looking at the standings as it is right now, as we just went through with Graff, it's impossible to ignore the fact that you are still very much in the mix. In the West, Phoenix is the 1, Utah is the 2, the Clippers and Nuggets have locked up playoff berths already. The Mavs are at the 5, and the Lakers are currently in the 6. By the way, Portland, 1 spot behind the Lakers, and this is why LeBron's ticked. The Lakers are at 28 losses. Portland's at 29. So the Lakers are 1 game away from being in that play-in scenario, which is what LeBron's ticked about, but cry me a river, man. It's what it is. It's the rules. Everybody knows the rules when the season begins. But it has absolutely kept a team like New Orleans engaged. 3 games in the loss column behind the Spurs with 6 to go. They will need a faceplant by the Spurs and a Herculean effort over these final 6, but see if they can get it. It is After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. Online at theantiagingclinics.com. Mother's Day is Sunday. Fellas, if you haven't gotten her a gift yet, trust me when I tell you, medical-grade skincare products from the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, awesome gift. Also, hydrofacials. You can get a gift card for a series of hydrofacials, or just get a gift card and let her choose what product or service she wants. But trust me, Mom will love it. It's a great option for a gift for Mother's Day. You can even do like a gift basket and wrap it up for you if you want that. Blue Bonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. Take care of Mom this Mother's Day. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana can help. All right, it is after further review. I'm excited about this. 30 minutes from right now, Josh Snead is going to join us. You may not know who Josh Snead is. You may not recognize the name, but you would absolutely recognize the face. He is one of the creators of the SEC Shorts. It's those satirical 2 to 3 minute videos about life as an SEC football fan or player that you see all over the internet, all over YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Josh Snead's going to join us here in about 30 minutes from right now, talk about the SEC Shorts series, which has become a great phenomenon and a lot of fun for SEC football fans. So that's coming up in hour 3. We'll also hear from Paul Maneri as the Tigers have a travel day today to take on Auburn, beginning a 3-game series tomorrow on the Plains. So a lot to get to still, and glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll wrap up hour number 2 with Tigers and the Pros next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Segan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. If Mom is a green thumb, Mom loves to work in the garden, a gift card from Clegg's Nursery is a perfect gift. Of course, they've got rose bushes. They've got house plants. Tons of options at Clegg's to put a smile on Mom's face this Mother's Day. Clegg's has been doing that for more than 60 years. They've been serving the greater Baton Rouge area for more than 60 years now. So I always tell you to buy local and to shop local and to support a great local business that supported our community for 6 decades. That's Clegg's, and they're conveniently located. Segan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. If it's not flowers or plants, maybe it's wind chimes or bird feeders or anything to help Mom decorate her garden or the outdoor space. They've got it at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, Trolling Motors. At Front to Back, they got not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to Front to Back Boat Service.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Talk a little recap of spring football. Look ahead to the 2020 college football season, in particular the defensive side of the ball, coming up here after the top of the hour. Right now, though, Muso has Tigers in the Pro.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
It was an absolute LSU takeover last night in Major League Baseball. We will start in the Bronx, and we will start with Alex Bregman, who, after being showered with booze, Bregman steps up to the plate in first inning and launches a solo homer to give the Astros a 1-0 lead. Alex Bregman would finish the night 2 for 4 with a run scored in the RBI, would also strike out twice. Breg's hitting .295 with 5 homers on the year. Yankees got the win.
I was so fired up. Bregman homered, Yankees win. It's the best of both worlds.
See, we'll get to some of that later in this. The Yankees won in part because DJ LeMahieu, in the bottom of the 6th inning with the game tied at 3 and the bases loaded, hit a slow tapper to one Alex Bregman up the third base line, who would throw the ball away and allow 2 runs to score.
You just hate to see it.
Well,
but I'm not blaming Bregman.
No.
I'm blaming first baseman there. You got to come away, get your foot off the bag, get in front of the ball.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he screamed it into the dugout.
Know
I mean,
the
it was a roller. I mean, just get off the bag.
Can't allow 2 runs to
Get
score
off
there.
the bag. Get in front of the ball. Who was that? Gurriel? Who was that at first base? It's Gurriel.
It's Gurriel.
Come on, Gurriel.
Gurriel?
Get off the bag.
He's got some weird hair.
You can't let that La Pina.
Yeah.
Pina. The pineapple, as they call him. Pina. Anyway.
You know, he went to high school in Michigan, but you put the ball in play and good things happen.
Yeah.
DJ finishes 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored, a ribby, a walk, and a strikeout, up to .278 on the year after a slow start. Will Harris returned from the injured list and made his first appearance of the season last night in a 6-1 loss to the Braves. Harris fired 1 shutout inning of relief, walking 1 and striking out 2. Great career, man, for Will Harris.
It's been awesome. That's my guy.
Aaron Nola last night for there it is. Yep. Dominant. Just absolutely dominant last night versus the Brewers. 6 innings, 5 hits scattered, only 1 run earned. Walked 2, struck out 10. 114 pitches for Nola, 78 strikes.
You know where you learned that, don't you, Muse?
Yes. Alan Dunn at LSU. I'm going to give him the credit for that one.
He showed up at LSU as a freshman, stepped right into the weekend rotation on a team that went to the Super Regional and lost to Stony Brook. But
we don't talk about that, though.
He got a regional win over ULM on that opener that year in 2012, and he learned it at
He got the win last night and moved his record to 3-1 on the season. So speaking of, like you said, best of both worlds, Jacoby Jones last night. No. The Detroit Tigers were up in Fenway, and with the Tigers trailing 9-3 in the bottom of the 6th, Jones sent an Austin Bryce fastball over the Green Monster for a 3-run homer.
You'll love to see it,
Absolutely
Muse.
crushed it.
Love
Austin
to
Bryce
see that.
last night. What are we doing, big guy? That was terrible.
Woo!
But happy to see Jones get the homer. It was his only hit of the night, 1 for 4, 3 RBI, and the run scored. Things that didn't go so well were Alex Lang. He was first out of the bullpen.
Oh, no.
Yeah, first out of the bullpen for the Tigers, and 2/3 of an inning. 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, no walks. Did get a strikeout, 2 homers for the Sox. I would like to plead with the Boston Red Sox to leave Alex Lang alone. Do not do that again. Some of us in your fan base are quite fond of the college that he attended. And finally, Chandler Rome, who, of course, covers the Houston Astros. I was wondering if you were going to sneak one in there.
Are you kidding me? You think I'd ever miss the opportunity?
I didn't think you would. Tweeted 2 hours ago that the Astros have signed pitcher Ryan Eads to a minor league deal. He will be sent to Class AAA Sugarland, where he will be teammates with Michael Papierski. And that's Tigers in the Press.
Presented by KYSBestHemp.com. Moose, what are you doing?
That came in late.
Do you have any rhythm at all? Is rhythm a thing you don't have?
No, I've got rhythm. I got rhythm. I just wasn't really ready.
That's, I mean, wow.
Yeah. Let's try it again.
No.
Okay.
No. Just go to the website and save money. Use the promo code AFR30. KYSBestHemp.com. Ooh, use. That was a rough go there, friend. Rough go. There was something that I wanted to say and completely got sidetracked there on it after the very difficult issue with clapping and rhythm. Russ Mitchell hates the website too, by the way. KYSBestHemp.com. He's like, that's a terrible website. I was like, why do you think I came up with the jingle? I've had this conversation with Lewis. I'm like, it's like the postal code of Kentucky, pluralized, followed by besthemp.com. It's like, it's a terrible name for a website. So we created a jingle, and people remembered. It's been good. It's been great, actually. Okay, hour 3, right after Sportscenter. Stick around, AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Remind you, earlier in the show, when we were doing the Hump Day Open, I got a text from David Benoit. And David said, dude, you made all the guys in our welding shop yell at me to turn off the show. Well, David, what you should do is tell all the guys in the welding shop that you need to use Michelli Weighing and Measurement, because in a welding shop or dozens of other industries, you use different products and tools to weigh and measure. And Michelli sells and services and rents those products that you use to weigh and measure pretty much anything. Michelli.com, they've been around since 1947. There are 29 locations all around the country in 11 different states, but you can also ship your equipment to Michelli. There's a Ship Your Equipment to Us tab right there at the top of the homepage at Michelli.com. Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Learn more. ISO 17025 accreditation available. Michelli.com.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with the certified pre-owned vehicle.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Yo, Jacob Hester here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Center, the place that can be at your convenience during those inconvenient times. I know they've been that for me. I've got 4 boys, right? So sometimes stitches happen. And they have 6 convenient locations, 1 close to you to be able to be convenient for you. Remember, you can also check in online. PatientPlusUC.com is the website. That way you skip the line as well. Patient Plus Urgent Care Center. Get in and get better.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Hand Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Is Aaron Rodgers really done with the Packers? Just one man's opinion, but the guy he replaced, Brett Favre, believes that Rodgers is out. But he'd love to see him win another Super Bowl in Green Bay.
He's put up unbelievable numbers. Win another Super Bowl and then do what you want to do, whether it's keep playing, play somewhere else, whatever. But win one more in Green Bay and go out the way you want to go out. You don't want to go out this way.
Brett Favre on ESPN Wisconsin. Right now in Major League Baseball, ninth inning in Seattle, the Orioles lead the Mariners 6-0. Baltimore lefty John Means has a no-hitter going through 8. He's about to come out for the bottom of the ninth. He's thrown 101 pitches with 11 strikeouts. The New York Rangers today fire team president John Davidson and GM Jeff Gorton and replace both with former Rangers captain Chris Drury, who had been the associate GM. ESPN has learned UEFA is ready to hand down severe disciplinary action against the 12 clubs who wanted to join the proposed Soccer Super League.
Aaron Rodgers could be the best Broncos quarterback since Peyton Manning. We'll talk to someone who played with both future Hall of Famers. Jeff Saturday on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, Thursday morning on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yeah.
It's hump day.
Cinco de Mayo. How was that, Muse?
What day is it, Mike?
I like that one.
We got a no-hitter in the works. Muse, who's the guy on the bump for the O's?
It's hump day.
It'll be lefty John Means.
Means.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Bottom 9.
Hump day.
Nobody out.
It's hump day.
2-2 count. Papa on the infield. 1 down.
It's hump day.
Josh Snead of SEC Shorts in 12 minutes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, let's go. We'll keep an eye on this. That's interesting. So, potential, we're 2 outs away from a no-hitter here in Baltimore. I wonder if Ben McDonald is on the call. Ben does a lot of the Orioles TV broadcast for the local Baltimore It's on MASN, and I wonder if Sportscenter here has cut into it. I wonder if Ben's on the call for this. Maybe we can find out. Maybe look up his Twitter or something like that.
He is.
He's on the call?
I just looked it up on his Twitter.
How about that?
He is on the call.
He's not on the call, but he's obviously is the color analyst, not the play-by-play. But still, that's pretty cool that Ben McDonald's there at Camden Yards to call this game. They're in Seattle. I wonder if he's in Seattle.
It didn't look like from the video he posted.
He might be remote?
Yeah,
Okay.
it looked like he was remote.
That kind of sucks.
That kind of does suck.
All right, question. If you're the visiting, all right, so you're the home fan. All right, this game's in Seattle. You're being no-hit. Do you want your team to break up the no-hitter, or do you want to witness history?
It depends. Like, for me, it depends on if you've seen a no-hitter before. So, like, I've seen a couple no-hitters in person. So the last one I saw was in Houston when LSU got no-hit.
That was a subtle flex.
Well,
not in the major league level.
No, I know. No, I've never seen a major league no-hitter.
Yeah, I'm talking about major league. Forget about college. I'm not talking about like Jared Poche, 7-inning no-hitter against Army. I'm talking about.
But it's. I mean.
No. Jared Poche, 7-inning no-hitter against Army doesn't count.
You're not listening to me. My point is, and yes, 7
strikeout. 2 down.
7-inning no-hitters do count if it's a full. Yes, if that's how many innings it was agreed to play. Yes, that does count. But anyway,
doesn't count.
Anyway, the last no-hitter I saw was in Houston when Dane Acker no-hit LSU, and that was 9 innings.
Right.
And, I mean, you're not happy your team got no-hit, but, I mean, it's pretty cool to see a no-hitter.
Okay, you didn't answer the question.
So, yes, you're rooting for the no. I think you should root for the no-hitter.
Are you rooting for the no-hitter or for your team to break up the no-hitter?
Depends if the game is in hand or not.
Oh, my God, you two. I swear to Christ in
there
heaven.
are factors to this.
That's it. No-hitter. Got it.
Now.
Soft liner to short. Wrapped it up.
Do you want to throw the caveat out about why the perfect game got ruined?
So John Means completes a no-hitter. The only reason this was not a perfect game, as Musso shared, is because there was a passed ball on a called third strike.
Drop third strike, let a runner get to first base. And that is brutal.
That is brutal.
That is a brutal way to lose a perfect game.
As great as a no-hitter is, there have been, 23, check my number, 23 perfect games in the history of baseball? I mean, Armando Galarraga got robbed.
That might be the most brutal.
Well, that's good. Good for that guy. Means
23. You were correct.
Look at on the number.
That was good.
Hot damn! It should have been 24. Because Armando Galarraga got absolutely robbed by Jim Joyce. But if you don't remember it, just look up Jim Joyce, Armando Galarraga. But by the way, one of the reasons that I always maintain that referees, umpires, officials should speak to the media, Jim Joyce spoke to the media after that. And he acknowledged it. He said, biggest call of my life, and I kicked the bleep out of it. Like, nobody felt worse than that guy. He just acknowledged he missed the call. He felt terrible about it. And part of the reason everyone's been able to move on from that in some sense is because he just owned it. We realized, dude's human. He missed it. And if we had replay, dude would have had his perfect game. Anyway. So, yes, officials always should speak to the media after, and referees and umpires. But if I'm this guy, Means, and my catcher dropped a third strike, and that's what kept me from a perfect game, I'm probably punching him in the nose in the dugout.
I'd be pretty upset.
You know the scene at the end of Major League? I'm sorry that this is a dated reference, but I think most of our listeners have probably seen that movie. But you know, whenever at the end of the movie, when Charlie Sheen and Corbin Burnson or Roger Dorn and Ricky Vaughn are celebrating, and then slugs him in the face because he slept with his wife. Like, that's what this would be like. Like, yeah, boom, you dropped it. All right, now we can hug again. That's what I would say.
Well, I mean, would you be rooting for your team to break up the no-hitter?
Hell yeah, I'm rooting for my team to break up. I don't want to be on the wrong side of history. To hell with that. Are you kidding me? It's the easiest answer in the world.
All right.
Why do I want history made against my team? Hell no. Dude, I remember watching, I was sitting at Pluckers a few years ago, and Yu Darvish is with the Rangers, and he has a no-hitter going against the Astros in Houston. And they break it up, and Houston breaks it up with 2 outs and maybe 1 out or 2 outs in the ninth. You can go look it up. It was a little flare into the outfield. Anyway, like, there were Astros fans standing and cheering to see. I'm like, what are you high? This is like your in-state rival about to no-hit you, and you're cheering for it? Like, are Houston sports fans just not smart? I don't know. I can't imagine. Like, I cannot imagine a Boston Red Sox crowd applauding a Yankee pitcher about to no-hit the Red Sox.
That would never happen.
That's my point.
That would never happen.
So that's it, Muse. You're at Fenway.
No, of course
and the
not.
Yankees are about to no-hit the Red Sox.
Be terrible.
You're up there. You want to see history?
No,
Of course you don't.
That's
Of
but
course
I said
don't.
I didn't want to see history a couple years ago in Houston when LSU got no hit.
That was brutal.
That was terrible. But when you look back on it, you're like,
Brutal.
I threw a no hitter.
No. Brutal. History against my no thanks. By the way, some news to report. It is significant as it pertains to LSU. This was supposed to be an LSU football segment. Just got derailed. That's okay. We just saw history. Now, if I have no rooting interest whatsoever, then I root for history. I was rooting for John Means to finish that no-hit. I don't care at all about the Orioles or the Mariners. I have no rooting interest for either of those teams whatsoever. So, yeah, great. Congrats to him. Garland Gillen of Fox 8 New Orleans is reporting that TJ Finley is entering the transfer portal. He posted this on Twitter 9 minutes ago. I think given the way that spring went, this probably isn't going to come as a surprise to many. We all largely assumed that the quarterback room would thin out and that Finley would be the one after Max Johnson finished the season the way he did, that Finley would likely be the one that would ultimately defect. For what it's worth, shortly after Garland Gillen posted that, our friend Michael Cobble from WBRZ Television also tweeted from an LSU source, Finley has not put his name in the portal yet. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but as of now, he has not yet entered the transfer portal. So not official, but likely to happen. I think a lot of us have been hearing those rumblings since spring that this was likely to happen with TJ Finley, and I don't really think that that's any surprise to anybody. You're just not going to keep 4 scholarship quarterbacks in this day and age. So if Finley is the one that decides to transfer, it's interesting that he's the guy with the most experience. He started 5 games for LSU a year ago. He's the one with the most starts of any of the LSU quarterbacks. But looks like TJ Finley entering the transfer portal when that is confirmed. If and when that is confirmed, we'll let you know. But reports are that that's happening. Okay, it's after further review. Glad you're with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, Josh Snead of SEC Shorts is going to join us. You've seen the SEC Shorts videos. They go viral every time they post one. One of the creators behind them joins us next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place at agent225.com. You know, it's said over and over and over and over again that the number one complaint to the National Association of Realtors is, hired my realtor, listed my home, never heard from him again. With Darren James, that'll never be the case. Darren's entire philosophy is unbelievable customer service. From that first call, listing your home, all the way through closing. Darren even throws a party for every one of his sellers or buyers. He throws a party so that way you can celebrate your new home with friends and family. The Baton Rouge real estate market right now is on fire. If you want to maximize the ROI on your home and possibly sell your home without even listing it, you need to call Darren James. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James. At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Camry for $299 per month. That's $299 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Josh Snead of SEC Shorts set to join us here in just a quick second. You may not know the name, you'll definitely know the face if you've seen SEC Shorts. He's calling us. We're waiting on him to dial us up. We'll get to him here in just a quick second. I had intended to do this in the last segment, so I'll get to it now. We'll wait on Josh. ESPN posted a list looking at college football's top 25 future defense rating. So basically what they did, I don't want this to be too complex, but they said, okay, who do you have returning? What does your recruiting look like? And then coaching as well. And they try to look at the next 3 years of what your defensive performance will look like. So a year ago, Georgia led this list, and Clemson was number 2, and Ohio State was number 3. LSU was number 4. Alabama was 5. That's what it looked like a year ago. This year, Georgia and Clemson flip-flop. So Clemson's number 1, Georgia's number 2. Bama's up to number 3. The big riser is Texas A&M at 4. More on that in a second. Ohio State 5. Oregon, Cincinnati is the other one that made a massive jump. And then LSU at 8. Yesterday on the show, we talked about ESPN's post-spring college football power rankings. And I said, look, LSU being at 20 is actually great respect. You're coming off a 5-5 season. You had literally the worst defense in the history of the program, and they've still got you in the top 20. That's basically saying we believe last year it was a one-off, that you still have tons of talent and that you're going to be good. Okay. I think this is a great compliment as well, because you're talking specifically about the defensive side of the ball, where a year ago, LSU was 126th in yards per play and 98th in the country in points allowed. They were literally the worst defense in the history of LSU football. And this metric, opinion, however you want to play it out, is basically saying that over the next 3 years, I think LSU is going to have the 8th best defense consistently in college football. That is an incredible amount of respect considering what we just witnessed. And the point I'll add to it is talent and reputation are there, and history suggests you will have a bounce back. The last time LSU had just an absolutely atrocious defense was in 2008. It was the Malvito experiment. LSU won the national title in 2007, and they became the first defending champ to allow multiple 50-point games. That season, both Florida and Georgia scored 50 against LSU. 2008 was a disaster. They fire Pivito and Mallory, or they found other jobs, and replaced him with John Chavis, who still in that era of football was a very good, proven defensive coordinator. And LSU went from allowing 26 points per game in 2008 to 16 points per game in 2009. A full 10 points per game better year to year by changing the defensive coordinator because you still had talent. And when you look at this LSU defense for this coming season, I mean, you've got talent. You've got Derek Stingley. You've got Elias Ricks. You're returning your entire defensive line with Logan and Farrell and Ali Gay, Andre Anthony. You're going to have young guys who you expect to take another step, like Jaquelin Roy and B.J. Ojolari. Then you add Mason Smith. I mean, you don't need me to spell it out for you. We can talk about linebacker as well, but the talent is there. It has been there. And I know this sounds so elementary, but just in the spring game, watching LSU look like a competent defense, not having receivers run free in the secondary, showed that if nothing else, what Durante Jones in a very short amount of time has been able to do is come in and at least stabilize things. At least have guys know where they're supposed to line up and do what they're supposed to do. It sounds so elementary and fundamental, but the elementary and fundamentals is what was lacking a year ago. It wasn't like LSU didn't have talent on the defensive side of the ball. It wasn't like they were the 128th worst defense talent-wise. They didn't know what they were doing. They weren't bought in. See if they can improve. The other side of that, though, that I said, which was the other biggest thing, was Texas A&M. This shocked me. Last year on this list, as far as looking at the next 3 years of defense, A&M was 20th. This year, they're 4th. Clemson, Georgia, Bama, the only ones ahead of A&M. A&M last year went 9-1, won the Orange Bowl. It was a great season. I'm not going to say that I'm fully bought in on A&M. I don't know how you can lose your starting quarterback, a 4-year starter at quarterback, and your entire offensive line and just hit the ground running and not miss a beat. But when you have a defense that is supposed to be this elite, maybe that helps soften the blow. According to this ESPN write-up, A&M, which finished second in the country in run defense a year ago, defensive line supposed to be a strength. Secondary could actually be better. And they returned their leading tackler of a year ago, who was their linebacker, one of their linebackers. So maybe Jimbo has that thing recruiting and the recruiting engine starting to roll in College Station. I know LSU's had a tremendous amount of success against Texas A&M, so that might be hard to see from an LSU perspective. But it's worth noting when all of these different publications and people who follow college football are looking at Texas A&M saying that's a program on the come. Maybe they're just betting on them because they had the 9-1 season a year, 9-1 year, and went to the Orange Bowl. Maybe getting back to a 12-game regular season schedule might bring A&M back to earth, new quarterback, all that. We'll see. But put a big asterisk next to that one and keep your eye on it. All right, it's at further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Sorry, y'all, we're expecting Josh Snead to call at 5:15. He's a little late. Reach out to him here in a minute, see if we can get him to call in the next segment. Remind you about mycleanliving.net, mycleanliving.net. I've told you for months about MyCleanLiving because what they've done with their NASA technology in their air purifiers was so important during COVID and remains to be. I've told you, I'll never travel to a hotel again without this device right here, which is on the set, which is the Fresh Air Mobile. It's about the size of a cell phone. It purifies air and surfaces. Dozens of pathogens, not just COVID, flu, mold. the common cold, staph. It's incredible. Got odors. It'll neutralize odors as well. Anyway, but mycleanliving.net has so much more than just their air purifiers. They have water filtration systems that are actually being used in Major League Baseball clubhouses. They've got supplements, nutritional supplements for energy and weight management, and also like laundry products. Like if you want chemical-free laundry cleaners, they have that. And they have a system called Laundry Pure, which you can learn more about. You could literally wash your clothes and never have to use laundry detergent again. Think about that. If you never had to use laundry detergent again. You go read up the technology. I mean, I could explain about how like it's in the cold water is infused with hydrogen and oxygen-based oxidizers that bubble and lift dirt and clothing fibers. I mean, you can go read about all the technology, but it's incredible. It's available. It's at mycleanliving.net. mycleanliving.net. Air purifiers invented by NASA, water filtration systems used by Major League Baseball, all natural cleaning supplies and medical-grade supplements. It's there at mycleanliving.net, mycleanliving.net. All right, it's time for further review. Today was a travel day for LSU baseball. Paul Mainieri did meet with the media before the team headed to Auburn. He did talk about facing the Auburn Tigers this weekend on the Plains.
Their record is not indicative at all of the talent level of this team. This team was in the College World Series 2 years ago. They have several players returning from that team. I've watched them play several games. They can really hit. I think they're the third leading hitting team in the league. They have more home runs than we have. I just watched them play Georgia on the road in a game where they could have been easily demoralized many times. They had leads, they blew them. Georgia came back and tied. They took the lead in extra innings. They blew the lead. Then they ended up winning it in the 14th inning. If a team is given up hope, they don't do things like that. So we got our hands full with this team. They can really, really hit. And their ballpark is a home run haven. It seems like I say that about all the ballparks in our league, but it is. We've got to go out there and really swing the bats, and we're going to have to pitch, and we're going to have somebody who are in a position to close out games do the job.
I totally understand Paul Mainieri's point, and you don't want to take anybody lightly. But when you're sitting there as a 5-win team in conference, you've won one SEC weekend, you are what your record says you are. And this is a series that LSU has to get on the road. As for LSU's rotation this weekend against Auburn, here's what Coach had to say.
Game 1 starter will be Landon Marceau. Game 2 starter will be A.J. Labus. And Game 3 starter will be to be announced. It's quite possible Mikhail Hilliard will be used out of the bullpen in Game 1 or Game 2.
And that's 100% the right call. When you're at 7 conference wins and you need literally every win you can get. If you're in a situation, one of the first 2 games, where you're in a position to win the game, and Mikhail Hilliard is someone that can go get outs for you, then of course you pitch him. You're not saving him to be your number 3 starter. You can't take anything for granted, especially with LSU's bullpen. If he's a guy you trust and he can go get you outs, you use him, and then you figure out Game 3 when you get there. And besides, I think you'll know how I feel about this. We've talked about this enough. Every week, seemingly, we've been hyping somebody else each of the last 3 weeks for that number 3 starter, and none has been able to maintain the consistency. My bigger question this week is going to be A.J. Labus. Yesterday, we talked about this with Anthony Renato. We saw it a couple of weeks ago with Doug Nikhazy. If you remember, when LSU went to Ole Miss, Doug Nikhazy, the week prior, had thrown a complete game shutout, 125 pitches, and he was not sharp against LSU. Well, A.J. Labus throws up 125 pitches, whatever, 126 pitches against Ole Miss, complete game, incredible performance. And last week, he just wasn't as sharp. And Renato talked about this yesterday. It's like whatever it is about hitting that threshold when you get over 150, 120 pitches, it's just much more difficult to recover, to bounce back. And now you're going to be on a short week because you're playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So, Labus, a couple of weeks ago, had an extra day. He threw on a Friday against Ole Miss, had an extra day, still wasn't sharp against Arkansas. Now he has to come back from Saturday to Friday to pitch, so one fewer day. Can he regain the form that he had against Ole Miss, or really during that stretch of the season where he was so good? And they're going to need him this weekend because that Game 2 is one with A.J. Labus on the bump that you're going to have to get. So if you're going to win this series. So let's see if LSU can get a nice bounce back from A.J. Labus, go on the Plains, get a win. One more from Paul Maneri, who did give an update on Hayden Travinski. We got this news yesterday, but here was the word from Paul Maneri.
He's actually been diagnosed with a torn ulnar collateral ligament in his right elbow. He's going in for surgery tomorrow to have Tommy John surgery on his right elbow. You know, he had that stress reaction and took months of rehab, and he was feeling better and better and getting stronger and stronger. He made a throw to second base, felt something weird in his elbow, and you know, we rested it and we took him to Ole Miss. But when we got back from Ole Miss on Monday, we had him get an arthrogram on his elbow, and it showed a tear in the ligament. So you know, he looked at all his options and finally decided that he was going to go ahead and have the surgery. So he's having the surgery tomorrow.
So the catching job will be Alex Milazzo's, and we wish certainly Hayden Travinski a very speedy recovery. All right, Josh Snead just called in, so let's knock out a quick break, and we'll come back. Talk to the guy who's behind SEC Shorts. We'll have some fun. Stick around, AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, whether always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. You know, when you live in South Louisiana, the truth is when you have 100-degree temperatures and the humidity that we do, a piece of machinery outside 24/7, 365 is going to have issues. It's just the reality. There's no getting around it. So what company do you want servicing that unit year after year after year? Do you want the company that says, I could save you a few bucks on the install and you're not sure the job they're going to do? 1,000 different companies could install an AC system, an HVAC system, and they could do it literally 1,000 different ways. Trust River City's 1 Hour Air, a company that's been around for 40 years in Baton Rouge. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with the certified pre-owned vehicle.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Yeah, because some of y'all suck now. For real.
Okay.
This episode of SEC Short.
Y'all have seen him plenty. Josh Snead, if you don't know the name, you certainly know the face. He's one of the creators behind SEC Shorts, the viral short videos, satirical in nature, poking fun at what it's like being a fan in the SEC. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. I got to know first, what is your background? Where are you from? How did you get, so ingrained into this SEC culture?
Yeah, so, I'm from kind of all over. I grew up kind of moving around a lot. But as far as the South goes, I've lived in Texas, South Carolina, and I live in Alabama now. I'm in Birmingham. So kind of lived around different places. I've seen kind of how all the different fans work in different places, and it's something I've always been fascinated with. So I think that's what kind of helps us bounce around to different teams so much.
Is your are you an actor? Is it your background? Did you go to school to be an actor? How did you pick all this up?
I went to a liberal arts school, so I did. I took some acting classes just for fun, but I never intended to be an actor. I did some plays stuff growing up. I was in medical publishing when we started doing all this, so I was
medical publishing.
Yeah, which is the opposite of what we're doing now. So the guy, Robert Clay, that I make these with, we were both working in the medical publishing company. When we first started there, we were editing medical lectures, gross stuff you see in medical things like that. That was our job, to look at that stuff every day. So it was just kind of miserable. So we just tried to find anything we could, creative, to do outside of that. So that's kind of how this got started.
When did you have the idea?
Oh man, I think it was after Kick 6, so maybe 2013 was the first time we started doing it.
So these have been around since 2013. I guess in my awareness, it's been the past few years. How many shorts have you done?
Oh wow, hundreds. Because we started in 2013, and that whole first year they were just for Feinbaum, and then after that there was 1 year of just Auburn and Alabama videos, because we went to AL.com.
Mm-hmm.
So we just did them there. So maybe 6 years, 5 years we've been doing all the teams. But yeah, I think you've only, once LSU had that huge season a couple years ago, that's when we were doing them every week.
So
LSU videos were every week.
When did you know you had a foothold? Was it something because now that you say it, I do remember these being posted at AL.com. Is that how it started? You pitched it to AL.com and they carried it? Or did you just start it, you were putting out content, someone noticed it, was I like that, let's grow it?
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. So we were, when Feinbaum went to the SEC network, he had to fill a bunch of airtime. So he was letting fans send in fan rants, and we thought instead of sending a rant in, us screaming into our cell phone, it would be we write a sketch out. And so they really liked them, so they asked us to do them every week. So then by the end of the season, people had offered to, pay us or give us jobs to, do it wherever, for their newspaper or the media publication or whatever, media company.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we got super lucky. We just wanted to be on TV, to be honest. We started it it would be really cool to be on TV. And so once you've taken a picture of your TV a couple times and posted it, like letting people know that you're famous, even though you're not. That's worth it. That'll get you through the first year, and then it starts to get hard.
When did you know that you were having success? Like, obviously, when you had that exponential growth, like, was there a moment? Was there a certain video? Was there a time where you knew, oh, this is for real?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was still working, and I had a working in medical publishing, and I had a conference in Hawaii. And while I was on a plane in Hawaii, a woman in a Georgia sweatshirt just like locked eyes with me across the airport and just ran over to me. And she was like super excited. And that was the first time where I was like, I am nowhere near home. This woman doesn't know me. She just recognized me from the videos. And that's when I first knew, like, okay, these might catch on, maybe.
I think they've caught on. That's fair to say. By the way, Josh Snead's our guest, the SEC Shorts videos that you see. What's the plan for the future? Like, how often do you put them out? I mean, do you have like a contract, a deal, or do you all just own your content that you put on YouTube?
Yeah, so we do own it. So we have a sponsor. You'll see the Kirk Herbstreit come up with the Renaissance thing at the end of every video. Renaissance sponsors all our online content, and then on top of that, we have a contract with ESPN where we make another sketch, an extra sketch a week during football season. And that'll air on the SEC Network on SEC Nation.
Incredible, man. What about I was going to ask, like, being recognized. You just gave a story there. Like, has your life changed in that sense where you are, like, everywhere you go now, like, you're recognized as this guy from the videos?
Yeah, and what's cool is that it's not just like in Birmingham where I live now. It'll be like a little bit everywhere. So I have like a pretty wild story about that, about getting recognized.
You mean more than like the lady in Hawaii in the Georgia sweatshirt running up to you at
Right,
the airport?
yeah.
Right?
So
More wild than that?
Yes. So it was like a year and a half ago, and I got a phone call really early from my girlfriend that she had been in a car accident. She's fine, so don't worry about that. That's not part of the story. So it was just icy roads. It wasn't like a multiple car accident. The car slid and she like ran into a rail. So when I got there, her car was kind of pinned up against the rail, and because of the dent on one side and she was pinned up against the rail, she couldn't really get out. So she was just sitting there. So I pull up and I start to walk to her car, and like the windows are broken out and all that stuff. So I was kind of worried. The officer stopped me. He was like, "Hey man, you're the guy from the videos. You mind if we grab a quick picture?" And I was like, "Let me check on my girlfriend real quick." And but yeah, he stopped me. I'm like, sliding my way over to her car, and he was like, "Oh, hey, let's get a picture."
Hey man, what's your favorite video? Did he hit you with one of those?
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, we get that. But yeah, he was just funny. Could you imagine being my girlfriend? She looks in the rearview window. All the windows are. She's like trapped in her own car, and I'm taking a picture with the officer at the back.
That is a pretty incredible visual, actually. So wait, before you go, do you have a favorite one that you've done, or one that you feel like has gotten the most interaction, the most play?
We did one maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 3, maybe 4. I don't know. So it was like a prom. It was like a school dance, and it had it was pairing all the teams up with the bowls that they made it in. So like the bowls were the girls and the teams were the guys. And so we just kind of, like when you ask a girl to dance at a school dance, it's kind of like pairing the dances, like the teams with the bowl games. So it was kind of a cool way to do that, and it was a big undertaking, and it got really popular, and then people were playing it, like lots of big famous people were reposting it, and it got some play on like CNN and Fox News and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. Made it onto like Sportscenter and things like that. That one was really cool. We did a Nicholas Sparks movie trailer one that I've always really liked. That we don't usually have a lot of time to spend. We usually have about 15 hours to make a video.
Oh wow!
And for that one, we actually had 2 days to work on it, so it was fun.
So normally about 15 hours, this all comes together. Where do you film?
Just around different places in Birmingham. So we're always, begging people to let us shoot a video in their warehouse or in their house or in their conference room, stuff like that. We're always begging people. So
it's incredible. Last thing before you go, what's next? I mean, is there an aim, a grander vision, like a next step, or you keep rolling at the pace you are?
Yeah, I think right now it's like you would if you were in a trying to work on a TV show. You just do it till no one wants to watch it anymore, and then move on to something else. So since we have an off season, each of us, Robert and I can each work on different projects. Like we'll do commercials or different just fun stuff, short films, things like that. So as far as that goes, we stay pretty busy. So I guess once the series was over, we could just pursue something else maybe. I don't know.
Are you still writing for medical journals?
I do not work in medical publishing anymore, so that's
good.
A huge bonus.
I'm glad.
Huge bonus. No more disgusting lectures. No more. No working at a cubicle.
If someone ever comes up and like, hey, are you the guy that wrote for the medical publication that I used to? Like, that would actually be a hell of a good story. If that actually.
When you mentioned getting recognized and stuff, there was at one point, people would come up to me a lot, and so one lady was like, "Oh, what do I know you from?" I was like, "Oh, well, I make these videos. They're kind of popular. I don't know." She was like, "No, you know what? You were my son's summer counselor." I was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah." And she was like, "What videos are you talking about?" I was like, "Nothing. I don't know.
No.
Bye. I gotta go."
Oh,
I just ran into the woods.
Josh,
didn't come out for several days.
Josh Snead of SEC Shorts. Y'all go subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're just SEC Shorts. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. He's all over social media as well. Man, it's fun. Thanks for spending a couple of minutes. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Be well. Josh Snead. The videos are amazing. I mean, if you're watching, you got to see, we played some of his B-roll as we were going. Like, you would absolutely recognize this guy if you're on any social media platform. They're incredible. He does great work. What a story. Medical publishing. He was in medical publishing. They started farting around making these videos. So I say, man, produce content. Like, it's just, the internet has changed the world. Produce content. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break, come back and wrap up with Otter Locks next. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. Tell you all the time. About stories, about people just like you or me who have called Insurance Network of Louisiana, been with State Farm, Allstate, Liberty Mutual, whoever your insurance provider is, been with them forever, always assumed you had good coverage. You heard someone like me saying call Insurance Network of Louisiana. This painless process, and you end up saving money. 293-0450. I can't stress this enough. Just make this phone call. 293-0450. Don't assume that you're properly insured and paying a fair price. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop and have these companies compete to give you better coverage for less money. 293-0450. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
What if you could truly energize your body and mind from the most fundamental level, your cells? Celivate is a revolutionary health-aware approach to energy, focus, and mood enhancement, packing everything you need to optimize your mind and body from the inside out. The unique formula combines top-notch cellular energizers, nootropics, herbal extracts, and powerful antioxidants, all in one sugar-free 12-ounce can. Elevate your cells. Salivate.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we get to Otter in just a second. As always, brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. 288-8138, Brandon, Holly, and the gang. They do amazing work with top-of-the-line windows, amazing customer service, and remember, they will never take $1 from you until you are thrilled with the work they do. That is what sets Relief Windows apart. They will take all the risk up front, and they just will not leave until you're thrilled. Brandon Holly demands it of himself and everybody that works there at Relief Windows. You cannot have a better customer service experience than when you call Relief Windows. He just will absolutely do right by you to make sure you are thrilled with the work they do. That's why they've grown the way they have. It's that commitment to people. It's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. All right, one thing left to do. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
Otter Locks. And we welcome aboard the one and only, the incomparable, the often incomprehensible, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
You really can't understand me often?
I said often incomprehensible. Well, sometimes you go, you just go like high pitch and scream, and I don't know what you're saying.
Sometimes.
That's what I said.
Seldom. You said often.
Well, it depends how many margaritas you've had on Cinco de Mayo. How about that?
Oh, the Battle of Puebla. So near to my heart.
See, nobody understood what you just said. That's my point. Often incomprehensible.
You didn't know what the historical the historical significance of Mexico when May the 5th is? Battle of Puebla.
Yeah, their Independence Day, right? Or is that
no?
Is that
the Battle of Puebla?
Got it. Okay.
And the liquor distributors and the United States turned it into a big party.
Yeah,
there you go.
Let's do it. Well, what are we betting on tonight for Cinco de Mayo, aside from a few margaritas going down tonight?
All right. Listen, we had a lot of unders, so don't give me my win-loss record tonight. But look at when it's all said and done. First of all, to the Bronx, Yankee Stadium, Yankees and the Astros. Garcia Montgomery here. Garcia's 0-3, but his numbers are really good. 2.7 ERA, one whip. Montgomery's been so-so. Whip is better, but his ERA is in the mid-4s. I'm taking the Astros plus $1.30 in New York. They can beat on the gas cans, the trash cans. The Yankees did score 1-1-1-0 in the 4 games in Houston in that series, by the way. But anyway.
You're living in the past, Otter. You're living in the past.
Minnesota and Texas. Do you know that the Minnesota Twins are the least profitable team in Major League Baseball thus far? If you bet $100 every time, you are down $1,216. Wow. They have been horrible, and they still have a huge line tonight, $1.92. Give me the Rangers. This pitching matchup is even. Give us Texas. Pick 'em game plus $1.75. Rangers in that one.
All right.
We're going to give you a little money line parlay. Don't want to lay 65, so we're going to take Shane Bieber against Brady Singer. Cleveland at Kansas City. Look out here, but the Indians have actually started hitting the ball a little bit. Won the first 2 in Kansas City, scoring a bunch of runs. So we're going to lay the 65, and we're going to hook it up with Walker Buehler in the Dodgers minus $1.74. So get you back about even money. And then one more tonight. We're going to go with the where are they? So the A's. A's looking for third in a row. Minus $1.25 against the Blue Jays. So A's best record in the American League, and they are the second most profitable team in Major League Baseball thus far. So almost 7 units to the positive.
All right.
How about I was at Hanny today?
What's that?
I was at Hanny today.
Oh, how'd it go?
And he asked me if I liked anything. I said, well, this guy Means is about to break through.
No.
I'd like the Orioles and Means here. Yeah. I think it's in a pick-em. Yes. I think I'll go with the Orioles.
Worked out pretty well for you, Otter. Hey,
I think we might even play it back on rewind. Just maybe a chance. That's your luck.
You might want to do it. Otter, have a great show. Thank you as always.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
See ya. It is After Further Review. Muse, what did you learn?
The SEC shorts guys just wanted to be on TV.
Paulie.
Ryan Eads signed a minor league deal with the Astros.
What'd you learn, Matt?
John Means pitches for the Orioles. Have a great night.
AFR.
Brought to you by GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. And as a matter of fact, I did notice today on their social media that GMFS is celebrating 22 years today. This is their 22nd anniversary from the day that they opened their doors, and they have been changing lives ever since. I always love sharing great success stories from our friends over at GMFS Mortgage. And Brandon Frederick texted this one into me to the show earlier today. He said, Matt, we're refinancing with GMFS, closing on Monday. We're lowering our interest rate by more than 1%, saving $500 a month on our mortgage, skipping 2 payments, and getting money back. With all the money they're saving, they're taking a trip to Disney. Change your life. GMFSmortgage.com. Offices all over Louisiana. GMFSmortgage.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with the certified pre-owned vehicle.